Good morning, everyone. Welcome into another PM in the AM show with me, Pat Bernard, Mike Lara sitting next to me, and of course, the man behind the curtain, the man that makes all the magic happen, Mr. Nawaje Twa, Mr. Elson Curry. What's up, buddy?
I don't even know where to go with that.
Yeah, and what's up with this? I'm your host, Pat Bernard. Oh, and sitting next to me is I am your co-host, jackass.
Well,
Hey, let's get one thing straight. We're starting this off with a bang this morning.
oh,
And you mentioned Alan Menage a Trois. Are you trying to get him killed, dude?
what is it with two other men?
Well, yeah.
Wow. Coffee.
My wife will be happy that somebody else did the job for she's like, sure, it takes one tour off my list.
Oh man. So listen, special day today. We will be having today's our 5-year anniversary of Devereaux Sports, Mike. So we're going to talk about we'll be talking about that a little later. But last night I really you got me pumping about talking to the Phillies yesterday because the Phillies now are playing against those Marlins who've always somehow give the Phillies fits. But Mike, Phillies come up big last night. How do you feel about it?
I like the way they responded. Good morning, Joe.
What's
I
up,
said,
Joe?
Joe, sorry for checking in. But I like the way they responded last night. Like to me, it was like I said last night on the final. It was like a heavyweight fight. The Phillies threw the first punch. The Marlins threw the counter. But instead of like in recent games, you had the Phillies actually turn around and threw what eventually ended up being the knockout blow. Like it seemed like I was sitting here with James Scorza. We were watching the game, and like I was getting heartburn. I was like, oh, here we go again. And give the Phillies credit, man. They got to their bullpen, got the bases loaded, and Marshy, man, with a big hit last night.
Well, exactly. So Aaron Nolan's on the hill. He's good. He coasted through for
Three innings.
four innings again, 6 Ks. However, that fifth inning, he started to get sloppy. Gave up 7 hits, 4 runs. Good thing by Hopper to pull him out when he knew he was going
Listen,
to struggle.
one thing I'm going to say about this is I don't think he got sloppy. I mean, there was a couple of balls that were, he, he a couple of those hits, were earned in that inning. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was just, some of them weren't. I felt like once they had gotten a couple runs in, he stopped relying on his fastball again. And I noticed that. Like he always starts going through his off-speed stuff, and even and the Marlins were just sitting back waiting on it. They were just sitting back waiting on it, and I don't know. I'm hoping he gets right.
And listen, Mike, he was fine. You say 2-4, right? But his fastballs, his curveballs, his sinkers, low and away, he got people chasing. So again, they're on point. Again, of course, I feel like I mushed him. I mean, he looked really, really solid. Again, the fastball was his
Oh yeah, that's
fastball.
right. You put the tweet out.
Yeah,
Didn't you?
his
Oh, there you go.
yeah, his fastball was really, really solid. I mean, his location was fine. His command was great. However, like that fifth team around, guys like Josh Bell, uh, finally came around and figured them out. So they were again reading what Aaron Nola wanted to do with the ball, and he wound up taking it. They were making him pay the piper for it. So, like I said, good thing for Topo, he knew he was like you said his speed started to come down a little bit. So again, and I'll tell you another name in the bullpen that it's been really catching my eye other than Kimbrel is Hoffman.
Yeah,
Hoffman's been solid.
Jeff Hoffman. He's been solid all year for the Phillies. Um, I like the fact that I think he's only going to. I think everybody's waiting for the other shoe to drop with him. Like,
Yeah,
because that's what I've heard a lot of. I guess proper prognosticators in our field turn around and say, well, when he gets in a pressure field situation, he's just going to fall apart. Well, I'm sorry, there was no more pressure situation than last night.
Well, that's the thing is they keep bringing him in high pressure situations. When we talked to him last night, he just said, "I'm okay with it." He was just like, "This is like guys, this is what I tried out for, and it's been so far working for me."
And I'll tell you what, who was last night too? You've been killing him. You've been killing him on here for the last 3 weeks. You've been killing him. Gregory Soto.
yeah, he looked good last night. I mentioned that.
He's looked good his last few outings. His last couple outings, he's looked good.
I don't know about that, but I mean, last night he looked good. I mean, again, he put away 2 back-to-back last night. I give him his props. You know, I told him every day. He looked
I-
Wait, wait. You call it day by day or hour by hour?
Minute by minute. Minute by minute.
Let's keep it a beat. Like a second.
yeah,
Alvarado looked good last night to me too. He looked like he's getting rounded back in the form.
It was what was you went the good and bad. You want to say what? Yes, the bad is Aaron Nola, and the funny thing leading into last night's game at home, Nola has been dominant pretty much. I mean, the last 2 home starts, he went 7 innings both times, and I think only let up 2 runs at most in the game at each time, and he was solid. And last night was the first night he didn't do that at home. Now he's been struggling more on home. We saw what happened in Milwaukee and all that kind of stuff, but it's just this one blow up inning. He was asked a question last night post game. Somebody asked him, like point blank, one of the first 2 questions he was asked, is it in your? Is like you feel like when you start compounding, you go, oh, here we go again in your own head, and he goes, no, I block it out. I'm like,
No,
I don't think you do.
no,
It's
there's
not.
no way.
You can't sit there and say that to a guy, but I'm like, I don't know if I can agree with that. I don't.
There's no way. I mean, when something happens over and over and over again, you know what I mean? Like you can't. But I did say after watching the game Friday night, I felt like the Phillies let that game get away from them. Like last night, they came out, like I said, they answered the bell last night. Now it's going to be interesting today, Pat, going forward because it looks like it's going to be a bullpen game for the Marlins.
well, hopefully they do have a game today. I mean, like Al said, probably on air, because it is for the people who are checked in and who are not in the Philadelphia area. It's pouring outside, so we're hoping to get some Phillies baseball.
And all this rain that's here right now will be in New England
Well,
by
yesterday,
game time.
I sit at the stadium, and when when the thunder struck, I've never had like lightning and thunder as loud as it was in the stadium, and it was an empty stadium. On top of it, it shook the windows. Like it was loud. Man, it kind of threw on a laptop, like startled half the people like in the midst of it. It was pretty crazy. So this weather, it's gonna make it a fun situation on the field. I mean, I know.
I just don't want to run it like you said out. Don't run in an Eagle football. I'm hoping to get.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
You already have that played out.
Dude, listen. This is why you get multiple screens.
Yes.
Like, listen, dude.
I have my iPad, my big iPad. I put it in there.
Listen, I got a laptop, a 75-inch TV, and I have another computer monitor. Guess what's going on? Phillies are going on one, Red Zone's going on the other, and whatever football game I feel like watching, that's on today.
Before there's no browser.
Browsers or browser?
Browser.
There's no big
And size.
We know when it's browsers, he goes to browsers.
But anyway, where are our minds going this morning?
Take the wheel.
Our minds, guys.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
it's a team thing apparently.
Hello, best quick.
yeah. So like you said, Mike, the Phillies offense come out swinging again. Nick Castellanos looking great again. How about that? Nick Castellanos goes from
Would you keep him down there? Keep him in the
he
eighth
gets
spot?
dropped down to 8th, and also I was listening to the telecast, so it's more of a, he's aggressive, but I don't think it's paying off like they wanted to. So I guess that's where they kind of dropped him. Again, it's probably more of a comfortable spot. Again, no pressure on him.
Yep.
And
The second. Aaron Nola sucks. Play by play with JJ. What's going on?
What's up, JJ? What's up, my dog?
He said, "Hey guys, congrats on 5-year anniversary. Phillies
Thank
need
you,
that
sir.
home field advantage in the wild card series. Finish it up today with a series win, then focus on Atlanta." JJ with that one.
Great list. Yes, they did, JJ. They did.
They did.
As we were saying, just a heads up. I'm not sure if me and my device, your audio almost is unintelligible.
Well, first of all, we are.
Yes.
Fine,
I'm
but
sorry. I'm the wrong program for looking for intelligence.
I will.
Dave?
More than
look into
Dave.
it, you guys. I'll see what's going on.
Yeah. We're definitely not.
You guys are getting in and out with your audio.
Oh.
Keep talking.
All right. So, but back to the game as always. Prior to this game though, the Marlins have won 7 out of 8.
But their last game, they got shellacked by the Dodgers.
Well, yeah, again, they got swept again. Taking two out of three from the Dodgers is impressive. Then you swept the Nationals, what should be an easy go around. But then, like I said, so you had this game. They've been playing hot baseball, and then and of course they take the Friday night game. But last night the Phillies came back and responded. Like I said, the offense, like I said, Nick Castellanos getting dropped in the lineup and at bat in eighth. Again, he delivers with a double. Really kind of rallied this team up. You had Brandon Marsh, who had a big series so far, the Friday night game and then last night. And how about I got something for you, Mike? Kyle Schwarber, right?
Oh, yes.
I did some heavy research on Kyle Schwarber just for the month of for the past month that he's been in front. So here we go. He's has 12. I don't know if you hear Mike, but he has 12 runs, 30 walks, and 12 hits. Like that's pretty impressive for the month.
Yeah, you wanna know that?
What's that, buddy?
The Phillies have hit 73 home runs since August 1st.
Wow. I mean, look,
73 home runs.
so like I said, right. So like I said, that's impressive. And I look at the team has done again. Topper, guys are getting hot. How about JT Realmuto as of late? It's been producing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's starting to hit the ball. He had another nice shot last night. He's been hitting the ball well. Again, what I've been saying all year is that this team hasn't been clicking on all cylinders all year. There's always been one piece of the puzzle or two pieces of the puzzle that haven't been working with the rest. This is gonna be dangerous too when they all start clicking.
Mike, you're absolutely right. Like you said last night in your show, like Alec Bohm has kind of been MIA.
So is Preston Stott.
But however, the other guys who stepped up in that place, you know what I mean? So like, if one guy gets cold, the other guy gets hot.
That's
So
how it's been with
right,
it's been like that all year long with the Phillies. That's why I said, like, if we're going towards October, right? And trust me, there's going to be a red October here. I'm very confident in that. I think the Phillies are going to win, the home field advantage for the wild card round anyway.
right. So again, you get last night. So like I said, that's the only time that Nola really got cold. Yesterday in yesterday's game was against again the meat of the Marlins
Order.
order really came in. Luis Arez. He's been having a good year. He's like third in hits right now in the league. Josh Bell finally, got his piece in. Again, some of the guys who came around, but other than that, again, Topper adjusted, brings Josh Hoffman in. Of course, I got worried once I saw Soto take them out, and no, Soto hold his own. And if you get your bullpen clicking all cylinders to match up with your starting pitching zone. If your pitching can handle their business, and with this lineup, you're going to be dangerous.
Yeah,
You
they
can
are.
find yourself where you were at last year in the World Series.
I listen. I think the Phillies' run that they went on last year is going to help them come this again. And I know, Pat, you've been a high proponent of the Braves and the Dodgers. I'm sorry, I don't believe in them teams. Once it turns October, I stop believing in the Braves. I stop believing in the Dodgers. You know what I mean? Because their track record will show you, yes, they will get there, and they will have phenomenal seasons. But they're like, I wouldn't even say that they're the Dallas Cowboys of baseball. I would say like the Dallas Cowboys are the Atlanta Braves of football because no team has choked more than the Braves.
And I'll give it to you a little differently too. And I agree with kind of what Mike says, but I also don't go into things knowing the Cowboys are going to choke, knowing the team like they have a history of doing it. So yeah, history is behind you on that. But
Right.
I look at it this way. I look at the Braves are a very good team, and they've been a very consistent team. The only difference between the Braves and the Phillies, in my eyes, has been consistency.
Mm-hmm.
If the Phillies were consistent all year long at the way they've been playing, then
they'd be right there.
They'd be right there with them, neck and neck. That's how I look at it. I look at it that way, and we all know how the postseason works. October comes. You wipe the chalk clean off.
It's like
slate.
Pat in the wintertime, man. The Braves are like you in the winter. They just shrivel up.
I'm shriveled up now
I know.
with no underwear. But anyway,
Well, I don't know about that.
what?
I just said.
By the way, the audio issues were fixed. Somebody put some cancellation thing on. I don't know what was causing it, but I fixed it, so we're good.
Really?
It wasn't anybody in here. Don't worry about it. It was just like some setting in StreamYard. I fixed it.
So again, kudo. Johnny Cueto yesterday gets lit up on the mound yesterday.
Dude, that second inning must have felt like an eternity.
37 years young, Johnny Cueto, by the way.
Right. So again,
every time I see him come on, like it's the same Johnny Cueto, right?
Yeah, a lot of his stuff has slowed down, and it's obviously showing in front of your eyes. Again, where Kyle Schwarber hits a nice little home run off of him. He only had 3 strikeouts in the game. He had 92 pitches. He gave up 5 hits, 5 runs, 5 errors. Gave up 3 walks. Yeah, not such a good night for the old veteran. So again, that's where the Phillies took their liberties on. So
yeah, and you know it's always good, even though it's a little rainy out. You still get tickets for today, right?
Yes, sir.
I know. You can go to sherrystickets.com, right? Check them out, sherrystickets.com. Sports, concert, theater, you name it, Phillies games, Eagles games, whatever. They got it. You need the ticket. No hidden fees. You pay the price you see on the screen when you check out. And you can save an additional 10% off using that great promo code.
EOP10.
EOP10, correct. Check it out. sherrystickets.com. Go to sherrystickets.com. Promo code EOP10. Save today.
So, Mike, again, with the Phillies, though, again, playing hot baseball, if they can continue this, next week is going to be, we're talking about the Braves. We're going to see the Braves for the next 2 weeks. Are
you scared? You got your blankie and tent set up?
Oh, I got the Barney blankie.
Did you invite the cat? Did you invite the cowboy over to roast some marshmallows and sit with you in the tent?
It's funny you say that.
And night worms.
He literally just posted. You just right before you said
I do that. I joke. Inning. Give him
the
credit. He made it through 5 innings. Wow. Yeah, he made it through 5 innings of getting tortured.
I don't even think he made 5 innings. I think he went 3 and 2/3.
And he was coaching.
Yeah.
And it's
he
funny.
Didn't even make 5 innings.
No,
like Ruben Amaro said it perfectly in the broadcast. Like, why haven't they even thought about getting to the bullpen already? Like immediately, I would have started.
Again, that's why the Marlins are probably not going to make the postseason.
No, but
Arizona is like
they look like they were trying to make some kind of a push. Like I said, prior to this, they won 7 out of their last 8. So
but they were catching teams at the right time too. You figure, with them playing the Dodgers just came off an emotional series against. They played Atlanta for 3 games. So that's all they were hearing, and they got smacked around by Atlanta in LA. So they were kind of reeling going into Miami.
Right. So again, but hey, look, if the Phillies can do what they did yesterday,
all they have to do is continue to win series.
Yeah.
Oh, just a little tidbit too. The Atlanta Braves can clinch their spot in the postseason today with a win and an Arizona Diamondbacks loss.
Yeah, they're 92 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta give the guys credit. Listen, I understand why somebody may look at the Braves and go, ugh. I mean, it's just you have to go with what you know. And so far, they have been a very good and, like I use the term, consistent team.
They have been, and they got a dangerous.
And actually, I don't know if you guys know, we already have one team mathematically eliminated from the playoffs in the NL.
Colorado. Yeah. So
hold on, I just have a question. The Phillies are sitting at 78 wins right now. Do they get to 90?
12 wins. How many games they got left? I got to figure this out. I got to do the math in my head.
Well, one thing for sure, it's going to be tough because it's not but all divisional games. Other than playing other than playing the Cardinals and Pirates.
Cardinals and Pirates. That's 6.
I mean, if they play as hot baseball, they
got what 6 with the Mets. So that's 12 games right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Mets are done. The Mets are in self. They're in self.
Yeah, but you know them. They still like to play.
So they have 20 games left today.
So they would have to go 12.
No, I'm sorry, 21 games including today.
All right, so they would have to go to get the 90 wins. They would have to go literally 12
and 8. More than 500 baseball.
Yeah, 12 and 8. They'd have to go 2 for 1, more or less, is what they would have to do over. So if they keep winning these series,
they win every series. Then
they're
at least
gonna
tie or win the 4-game series. They at least tie or win every series they should make.
I think
Well, and two, what Ranger Suarez are we going to get today?
Listen, I hope we see.
Why do you keep asking that?
I think
why I keep asking is because his starts are not good, and that's kind of worries me some because you don't want to put this team in a hole.
We went through this when he came back from his first injury,
right? And he was choking up,
and it took about 2 to 3 games, and after that he was Ranger.
I don't know.
He's only been back what?
2 games.
2 games.
So this will be his third.
I don't know if the Ranger's been a Ranger all year.
I think he's been really good outside of those few games after returning from injury.
Yeah, I mean, again, like
And I have the Marlins announced who's going to be their starting
I
today.
think they're on bullpen game.
it's a pen game today. That's why I said the Phillies got a chance really to kind of bury the Marlins a little bit. And if the Phillies win this game too, they take the season series from the Marlins. Like so, it's I think as of last night, the game was tied up.
Okert. They have Okert.
Okay.
Ogre.
Ogre.
Okert.
Oh, Kurt. You get the start for against the Phillies.
Kurt.
32
But you know what
lefty.
though? But you also got to be careful too because this could be one of them guys that come out and freaking throws a gem against the Phillies. Like that's an
unsung hero.
Yeah, like that's if it happens, it usually happens against the Phillies when a guy you never heard of. So
yeah, like I said, I
want to know how Bryson Stott is after getting hit in the
oh
stomach.
My gosh, you see that shot? I mean, he got drilled right in the rib cage. So he again the word that he is again. He took that shot and within like the next inning or so, he was right back on the hill.
Yeah. So
this is a total bullpen game. This guy has not thrown more than like 2 innings at one time. So
okay. Yeah. So that means they got to jump on him quick.
Yeah.
But my question is, would you sit Stott? Would you sit Bryson Stott today? Give him a day off?
Why?
No.
If he's hurt, I mean,
obviously. If
they said so. Topper said post game that he was talking about little breathing issues. We got hit in the ribs last night. For those who don't know, but he was able to run around the bases. So there was no news.
We've all played with injuries too, though. Like when you're in the middle of a game, the adrenaline takes over. When that adrenaline wears off, though, and like I'm pretty sure when he gets up this morning, he's probably like,
"Oh, he's feeling it."
Right, exactly. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. And besides, you could start Sosa today. You start Sosa at second.
I'll tell you what. I'm not. If he isn't showing any signs of injury,
well, plus you got a lefty going too.
I'll tell you what. He might not.
Give him a day.
Speaking of Stott, he might not have the greatest of series right now. But that play he made on Friday, that diving catch was unbelievable.
Also, did you see
Trey Turner made one last night?
He had an interesting stat on Friday. He stole that base on Friday. 3,000 stolen base in Major League Baseball. That was the first time Major League Baseball had 3,000 or more stolen bases since 2012. I guess those bigger bags did make a difference.
Yeah, right.
You know?
I'm telling you. So him, and again, if you like you said, if you have Sosa out there, one thing Sosa could do, he could play some infield defense.
Dave thinks the Miami Marlins make it. Now, Dave, they're outside looking in. They're the one game out of the wild, like one team that's right outside the wild card, third position. They're 1.5 games, and they were lucky that Arizona was kind of beating up on Chicago a little bit.
Yeah,
because if they weren't and we were beating them, they would probably be.
And they're dealing with 2 key injuries right now.
And listen, right now, the dogfight in my eyes, trying to make their way in where these standings could move up and down. You got Cincinnati and San Francisco, both 2.5 games out of that third spot, and they're 1.5 games out. But Chicago and Arizona are making it close now.
Well, they're in a dogfight. They're playing each other. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they're only a game apart of each other.
Right.
So you got literally 3.5 games between Chicago, Arizona, Miami, San Fran, and Cincinnati. So the 2, 3, and 3 guys looking in, that can shift up and down a lot.
Right. And I think the Marlins? They got a lot of games left with the Nats. I think they play the Nats and the Mets. So,
hey, listen, it'd be the one time I'd be okay playing away if we had to play them in the Marlins in a divisional series.
Yeah, you're right. That's the one you would be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So again, they're dealing with two key injuries with Soler and
Soler
and
Alcantara.
Alcantara, right? So
go to bed.
Alcantara is
good morning.
Alcantara is probably not playing for.
I think for another 10 days or so.
Well, the 15-day DL as of I think Wednesday or Thursday. Mm-hmm. If it was that day, so he might be able to get into one of the last game or 2 of the season. I don't know.
Good morning, love.
So. Al, I don't know if I know you were, checking some things out with the
Taisha. Good morning, Fly Eagles Fly.
There you go.
And the Phillies too.
Yeah. So Al, I know you were out there checking some things.
Oh, there's Mike checking it. Topper. Ha ha ha.
Michael, he's on the same hill as Howie Roseman and
yes. And I'm about to get into this. So I brought up Kyle Schwarber's number for the past month, right? He's got 12 home runs, 30 walks, and 12 hits, and that's just doubles and singles. My thing is, and I wanted to kind of go with the Matty B route. I'm not trying to make this into a topic of conversation, but with him playing this kind of baseball, would you consider putting him in maybe the 3 or 4 hole, knowing he's hitting like this and it has a consistent hit right now? Would you consider and maybe put in Stott or and Turner, maybe your 1-2, and have Harper at 3, and then having Kyle Schwarber come in to be your clock out of the 4 hole? They kind of really driving some runs. Would you consider
No,
it?
because if it's
Or
not
you,
if it's not broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? Leave it alone. He's
And they won't.
and
They
they're not.
won't.
They're not.
There is something about
Him not batting leadoff.
It's whatever they're seeing and whatever he's feeling. He's not your prototypical leadoff guy. And right now, the way Trey Turner's hitting, you would believe he'd be your guy. But he's also hitting really good for a number 2 guy. So it's like,
guys
like Mike said, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it.
Listen, you know who I would move up to have him in the 4 spot because he's been driving the ball. I would move JT up.
But does it change what happens to him? Like
Schwarber's
his mentality.
Does
he?
Mike, that's not a bad spot. I mean, JT has been coming along.
Yeah.
And he's been driving.
Mike's saying that Schwarber is a 4-5 hitter. Well, Mike, go back and I'm talking to you, Pappy. All right, Pappy Nick. Go there.
Hey, don't mess with the Pappy Nick.
Yeah, go there and make sure. Go back and look of all the teams he's played with. He hasn't hit in the 4 or 5 spot.
No,
for them, it's been 3 and up.
And Mike said Topper will move every other batter in the lineup but him. But I know, and it's whatever. It's just they are. Listen, they're analytical guys. They are metric guys, and here we go. The 195. Here it comes. Well, 195. Yeah, but hold on.
I'm sure that's Michael or not, and Matty B. Which one is that?
It's Matty B's burner account.
Yeah.
But seriously, and this is people's hill that they go on, and I get it. Like, I'm not sitting there saying you're wrong, but you're not right at the same time. Like, he's a unicorn. It's not. This isn't a perfect like Lego fit. It's not snapping in. But look at it. He's what? 3rd or 4th?
Second in home runs.
Oh, he's 2nd in home runs.
Yeah,
now.
he caught.
He was 4th or 5th just a couple of games ago.
Yeah, he caught. I think he's tied with 2nd with Alonso.
Right.
So,
but you know what? Like I said, we'll see what the Phillies do today. I believe the Phillies are going to win today. If it's going to be a bullpen arm,
the Schwarber line, not the Mendoza line. Hey, we can rename it.
But hold on, real quick. I'm going to say this: like he might be batting a 195, but he's like I said, he's 2nd in home runs. His OPS is like over 1,200. It's like ridiculous, and he's got more walks than anybody else in Major League Baseball now. He's getting on base.
30 walks.
It's just
he's not hitting singles and doubles.
It's just not typical. I know, and it's like, and I don't know how to explain it, but it's working. It's
yes.
I listen. If you go back and listen to any other show from earlier in the season, I'd be like, just move him into the lineup 4th or 5th spot. Like I was saying, the same damn thing as you are. But it's just working, and you can't change the chemistry now.
The strikeout ratio on him has come down tremendously.
Dude, he's making contact. This is why, like I said, I would definitely do like Schwarber would be my DH going in, like from here on out. Like I would just look at him like, dude, you're not seeing left field because they have guys on the roster.
I think once the postseason comes around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Postseason starts, like no, Schwarber, I love you, buddy, but you're DH.
Unless for some reason Bryce can't play every game. They just feel like it's just not.
Well, I mean, I think Bryce. To be honest with you,
I think you can do it now. They're just not testing.
So Mike, you bring up a good point. I mean, because your field, you can have, Castellanos in right, Marsh in center, and you can exchange that for Rojas and Cave.
Right. You have you have Cave, you have Rojas, you have Pache.
Yeah, Pache.
I mean, so you got 3 fielders right there that can go play in the field. And listen, it really helps the Phillies out defensively. If you take a look at it, you could see them, Mike says, I'd rather see 3-run shots than solo shots. Mike, I agree with you. We all want to see 3-run shots, but the problem is this dude, for some odd reason, can't bat nowhere else other than leadoff.
Right.
So if you want to see 3-run shots,
and
tell 8 and 9 to get on base.
And the funny thing is, he's 10th in the Major League Baseball in RBIs. Just imagine if he had them. I mean, like, that's my point is I get what he's thinking and the thought process works. But at the same time, for whatever reason, Mike, when you move him into that spot, you're getting the one. And I think because of that 190 batting average is why you can't put him in that 4 or 5 spot.
Yeah.
That's the reason. I think it changes the dynamic, and then we would all be pulling our hair out about Kyle Schwarber. I figured out why they did it. It makes sense once you think about it. It doesn't sit well with you. You know, it feels awkward. It might feel like a new pair of shoes. They're good, they're nice, but when you first wear them, you got to break them in.
Right.
But once you break it in, you understand it. It's interesting.
No, unless you're rocking the air pumps, and then you're.
But anyway, like,
God, here he goes. Shoe analogy.
Just Cueto went 3 2/3. My fault, Mike.
I don't think he's going to make year 6, guys. I'm just
Yeah,
putting
you're
it
good.
down.
Yeah, you're good, buddy. You're good. I got it right here. I got the stats right here in front of us. So these are the game notes. So, Walter checking in.
Walt, he is not moving him. He's not. I agree with you.
Not going to move Schwarber yet. So you're expecting Topper to manage and make Schwarber a full-time DH. You're asking for a lot from Topper.
I think that's the game plan. To be honest with you, I think once they get, because remember, when it comes to the postseason, they're going to have more time off in between games.
Correct.
So you don't have to worry about back-to-back games. I mean, right now they only have 2 more days off in the whole month of September.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and they have a doubleheader coming up on Monday against the Braves.
Mm-hmm. Which I thought that.
So I think you'll see the back and forth where they give the DH spot to keep Harper fresh and not overwork him in the field. So I honestly think that is the game plan. Like, I really do.
I got a question for you guys, honestly. Do you think Harper stays at first base?
Yes.
Because he did say he was open to doing that.
Why not? How many other really
like you just said, Mike, if it's not broke, you don't fix it.
Listen, though, but stop and think about that. If you keep him at first base, like, you can literally
it solves a problem.
It solves a problem, but the problem is our boy Reese, he's going bye-bye. Reese is
already up this year.
Yeah, he's been an afterthought right now.
I hope he comes back. I think, there's an outside chance he can come back for the postseason.
Listen, Mike, I we can go back and forth on this all you want, but I don't think so. I think they're going to, with a DH now available, if he can DH every game and they don't think Harper needs a time off the field.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think they're going to leave him in a left field liability spot.
No, they're going to listen. The Phillies right now, this Rojas kid has been a blessing.
He's got an arm on him too.
He's got an arm on him. So
all right, listen, everyone. Look, we can master debate about Phillies all we want, but listen. 5 years ago today, me, Mike here have been doing it for quite some time. But the guy who helped me build this all from scratch, before we even got any kind of studio time, we were just going live and pretty much doing like live demos on our phone. Is my man Eddie on the phone? ED3, what's up, buddy? You there?
You there, bud?
Eddie, you there?
I have him.
Mark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
Hold on 1 sec. Go ahead, keep going.
All right, so
that's real great, Pat. You introduced the guy, and he's probably on hold somewhere.
He's probably pooping, knowing Eddie. But so I mean, again, like I said, Mike, 5 years ago today.
Yeah, man, 5 years
ago. So I mean, 5 years ago, we actually made it on air. So start recording podcasting, and it was me, my brother Adam Popple, and Paul Spencer. So we did this starting, and it's been
shout out to those guys too.
Yeah. So again, on the airlines with us, Eddie, what's up, buddy? Are you there? Are you pooping?
He's calling. All right, let me find out what's going on. Hold on.
All right. Well, we're gonna get that. Knowing that he's probably master. Oh, never mind.
So, you stop with that. Listen, you brought me in an hour earlier. Okay, I'm gonna be done my coffee before the 9 o'clock hour.
All right. So listen.
Cheese and crackers, man.
Mike, again, I started this 5 years ago with those guys. Gus came along with it, and then we've had just again, Joe. I got to give Joe Sullivan credit for he was with us for a good long while. Him, Diego,
The Sully squad.
the whole Soy Squad. So they've been, with us for a long, long time. Mike, I saw you start doing some demos on your Facebook feed, and I said, you know what? I think, I didn't know you were into sports like that. Because we just have talk about our wrestling business. So I didn't know you were into that. But when I start seeing you start doing,
My picks and
your
stuff
picks,
like
and
that.
I said, and I gave you a shot. I said, Mike, would you like, and then
that started 3 years ago, right?
3 years
So
ago.
I've been with you guys. I've been with Devereaux 3 out of 5. So, and you know what? I like the fact that and I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys are tuning in for sports or whatever, but the reason why we added this extra hour to the programming today was because we are kind of paying tribute to some of the guys that were here with us that ain't here no more. That no longer do it with us. But I mean, how about the king of swag, Mark Gordon?
Mark Gordon.
Mark Gordon. I mean, I used to enjoy. The reason why I enjoyed coming in, especially doing shows with Mark.
Used to. We're 1 and 1A.
Well, here's the thing, because we're around the same age, so we were able to, we could relate to some of the things. Now, me and Mark didn't always see eye to eye, but
Right.
I always enjoyed doing shows with him. I enjoyed doing shows with Gus.
Yeah.
I never did a show with Diego. Never did a show to this date. I have not done a show with Diego, so we got to make that happen somewhere, Diego. Joe Sullivan, I can't say enough. Your idiot brother Chuck, I love him to death. I started out with him and Leaf. I started out with they were called the Scrapple Boys. I started out with them guys. So
I mean, again, like I said, we had so many great people come through here. Again, we had the Combat Misfits with Dave Miletto and Chris Dedrick. I mean,
Chris too. He's another one, man.
Yeah.
He could definitely debate with
Oh,
the
yeah.
rest of them.
Yeah, he can. So those guys were doing really good. And then we had the Breast and Body Slams crew with Chio.
Chio, that's our boy.
Yeah, so I mean, again, and of course, one of our main men who've been with us for quite some time, Austin Hamill.
Austin, he's always fun to work with. I mean, of course, you have Paul and Matt Klein doing the Cowboy show.
Yeah.
Over, on here for the longest time, Big Matt and Paul.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've come a long way, man. I mean, with this brand.
Yeah, and look, it's a lot of guys who do this. They just do it, and then they figure it's not working for them, or life gets in the way. But you really have to have,
or get that instant gratification. There's sometimes that's the problem for people too. I've learned.
Yeah, you really have to have 2 feet into this. I mean, you really do. If you have like that 1 foot in, 1 foot out,
2 feet, 2 hands,
yeah,
your balls, everything has to be into it.
Listen, that's it. Your new name is Producer Potty Mouth. We try to watch what we're saying, but Producer Potty Mouth back there.
Hey, listen.
We're gonna get.
Why is balls such a bad thing? We're talking about baseballs, footballs, all
right,
balls.
but no, man. Producer Potty Mouth is in the building.
So, but I mean, Mike, again, like I said, it just started something small, and
listen, man, you can take a bow, Pat. Like I said, because to be funny, not to be funny, but I mean, you kind of started something. You got a bunch of people that you knew and trusted to come in and work with you. Now, some of it may have worked, some of it may not have worked, but from that, other people have spawned off and done other things.
Yes,
and they you really kind of gave everybody the I guess the platform. I don't know, but I keep hearing doo-doo-doo in my ear. I thought Al was sending me signals. But I mean, it's been cool. I mean, even though we're not there no more, but
there's
our boy.
Eddie. Eddie, what's going on, brother?
Yo, what's going on?
Not much, Eddie. How's the weather up there in the mountains?
It's full of rain right now.
Yeah,
I tried calling in, guys. Sorry, I was hooked up to my my watch, and my watch was upstairs. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, why can't these guys hear me?
No,
like, oh, yo, dummy, it's hooked up to your watch, idiot.
Listen, you're not the only idiot in the house. You know what I mean?
So no why Devereaux Sports stumbled out of the gates over here with these 2 knuckleheads.
Yes. I mean, me and Eddie kind of, like I said, we start this whole thing, and I gotta be honest. This was Eddie. I said, so when we were doing this, I said, Eddie, I want to start doing a podcast, and because I was again a caller after I wrapped up my wrestling career. I said I got really involved with calling in with Mikey Miss talking sports.
Wait. Did you say wrap up his wrestling career, or was it dishonorable discharge?
Well, more of a discharge.
Some more of a discharge.
I was grabbing it, and they say, you know what, they had enough of that.
He was the king of the 20-minute go behinds.
so I said, I start calling with Mikey Miss a whole lot, and then I said, why be a calling for 2 minutes? I could do this for an hour. So I was just trying to figure out. how can I get a platform going and all this. And then I got in touch with Tom Kelly. And me and Tom Kelly hit it all pretty well. He invited me down, passing out Fanatics. He kind of gave me a lead on how to get things started. And of course, here with Eddie, I said he's going to be my go-to guy because me and him always talk sports. And I said, Eddie, what should we call this? Should we call it the Pat and Eddie Show? He's like, why don't we just call it Devereaux Sports because this is where we grew up. So, Eddie, what's Devereaux Sports been like for you? And just remember how things got started and what was it like so far?
It's crazy the way it's just blowing up. I think if I recall correctly, our first kind of live video just going on Facebook Live was down at not Dave and Buster's
Buffalo
watching
Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings, watching Conor McGregor fight. And I think that's when you're like, yeah, let's just do a live video quick and see what's happening. That's pretty much like the first thing we did. Like, yeah, let's try and just mess around like we usually do and see if we get any views and stuff.
Yeah, and I remember, believe it or not, our first viewer was Tim McManus, who covers in the Eagles beat reporter. So he was the first ever because our viewer. So like I said, that's pretty dope. So and then it was just pretty much me and Eddie going live for 20 minutes, whatever, just quickly talking sports, whatever. And then with doing so, Tom Kelly came around and introduced me to the studio, and so boom, it's just been a big platform. So again, here we are, me and you, Mike. We've been talking with movie producers and former Eagle players and so forth. So Eddie, again,
yeah, I just benefited off what you guys started. So you can call me the leech. I don't care. You do all the hard work. I just leech off of it.
Yeah, I figured. So Eddie, and again, just so what was it like? When we first got started, and where like I said, what made you want to come with Devereaux Sports as the name?
It's just we're pretty original guys. You can't really think anything or anything that's not original. So we would go up down there. So I was like, oh, let's call it Devereaux Sports. This is where we hung out our whole childhood. So.
Is that why it's not
and we're not smart. We're not really that smart to come up with a different name. So.
Hey, Eddie, it's Mike here, man. I got to ask a question. Did you become a raging alcoholic after doing shows with that? Because I don't know.
That's why he moved to the mountains. He doesn't do it anymore.
Is that why you had to go move to the mountains? You had to get away from this dude? Because every Sunday morning, I feel like I need a fifth of Jack Daniels by the time I'm done.
No, it's just that actually would probably get worse for you, Mike, if we were both together.
Oh my!
It'd probably be 10 times worse.
Oh, if you were a part of this? Oh my God! Yeah.
We're like two peas in a pod.
Oh, so it's like
1A.
Oh, I didn't think there could be.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna need 2 bottles of Jack, my friend.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, we feed off each other. It's a show.
Do you ever want to reach out and choke him like I do?
No.
So one thing
he's like, nope.
Yeah.
No,
He's just being nice. Yeah. He's just being nice. He's probably got a pat down and he strangles at home.
Hey, listen, if he's got a big blow, what I mean, just got that head, just start choking it.
Oh, pat. Jesus,
but
Harry and Ralph.
So anyway, but Eddie was always our stat guy. Like you can ask Eddie about anybody's stats on whatever team. My man had numbers ready to go. I mean, that was Eddie's deal on the show. I mean, you can ask him not just Philadelphia.
Well, that's good. Pat can't count without taking his shoes off.
Yeah, for some odd reason, Pat's the only guy I know. He takes off his fingers and he counts his fingers and toes and still comes up with 20 and a half.
Well, I mean,
his pants must have been down
for that half for the worm. Yeah. Jesus,
yeah, we got the point, Pat. The joke was implied.
Yes. So again, Eddie. But yeah, like I said, Eddie would always come up with some crazy stuff, and it might not just have to be Philadelphia sports. It could have just been. He would have came up with stuff, stats for the Penguins or whatever team you needed. He had it. So, please, Eddie, just like I said, more duplicate of what made you want the drive to do all the stat work.
It's just you didn't want to sound like, to be honest, truthful with you guys. You just don't want to sound like an idiot. You get on there talking about, sports and stuff. You want to know. You at least sound like you know what you're talking about. So I just go up and before we get on live videos, I just search a bunch of stats up, see what everybody's doing, and I never really pay attention to it before until until you start, we start talking about sports and stuff. So I'm like, let me pay attention to stats. Actually, sound like I'm not half a retard here. So I just look up all the stats before we get on the show, and jot them down here and there. And that's basically all I did. I just started paying attention to it.
Right, and like I said, Eddie did a phenomenal job. Again, me and Eddie. So it just kind of like started with me and Eddie, and then of course my brother came along, David came along, a bunch of people started really coming to attach, and then like I said, once we kind of develop it, then like I said, Tom Kelly came around. Then that's when we got introduced to Crack Bell, and that's when they were like, they kind of came up with, hey, you guys want to do some studio time? So we took it from like 20 minutes to an hour of over there on Crack Bell. So again, it's just been a fun ride. And Eddie, like I said, I want to thank you because you are the pioneer to help me start this whole brand. And now here I am with Edge of Philly Sports, and we're doing big things over here on a consistent basis. So without you, my friend, I just
Pat wouldn't be here today.
No, I wouldn't.
Remind me to send you a fruit basket later. Thanks.
Yeah, he was smart. He was like, "Oh, Pat, I got to move to the mountains." He was just like, "It's your problem now."
I might become your neighbor at the rate this is going.
So again, Eddie's been like a really big help. Again, for quite some time, me and him really, like I said, we're just doing like these live Facebook feeds, just trying to get things going, and we were drawing some people, and it was good enough for obviously to lead kind of to some studio time. And like I said, now we're over here, and we're constantly doing work over here. So
maybe we'll bring Eddie back for hockey season. I understand Ed's a big hockey fan. So.
Eddie is a huge
hockey
good
because I need somebody to come over here and cope with you doing. Have you heard Pat's hockey takes, Ed?
Oh yeah. I hear golf.
This is why I have the Jack Daniels out at 8:30.
I got to turn it off, mute it for a minute.
This is why I have this out at 8:45 in the morning.
Was he always a flip flopper? That's what I need to know. Like, did he change from inning to inning like he does all the time?
Oh yeah, he's always been a bandwagon hopper. Just whoever's winning, that's who he's with.
Give me that Coca-Cola.
That's great. Look, that's great. I knew it because you came in here wearing your Mets colored golf shirt again. Okay,
dude, this is black, purple, and orange.
Look on the screen. It's black,
orange, and
blue.
That is Mets colors.
That's Mets colors. Again,
you're Metsing it up. Way to go, Pat.
I swear he's got a secret love affair with New York.
Jesus.
Oh my God! He has to ride around with his cousin Art all day. I'm sure he hears enough from him.
Yeah.
So again, Eddie, like I said, I want to thank you so much. Like I said, without you, this I wouldn't be here. So again, you carried the load for quite some time, carrying me on your back. Again, you did it. What like I said, this it was always consistent. You and I every Thursday, Saturday morning, you and I were just doing live Facebook feeds, and so here we are. Doing great things. So of course, Eddie, this is open day football, and I've got to ask you, what do you think is going to happen with the Birds today?
Oh, I think it's Birds all the way. I don't think they got New England's got anything for us. I don't want to speak too much. You know what I mean? Because I don't want anybody to say, "Oh yeah, just a Birds fan talking." But they're stacked up this year. Like it's going to be crazy. I'm pumped up today. I am pumped up.
I know you're ready to run through a wall, Eddie. Listen. However, though, I've been listening to a lot of people from this network, and I've been listening to a lot of people. They're kind of 50-50. They actually believe that the New England Patriots are going to win. I don't know. It's because if it's a Bill Belichick thing.
I don't know, but I'll let that I'm going to let that cat out of the bag when we start talking.
So, Eddie, are you in fear of a Bill Belichick and the exposed defense, or what?
Oh no, I mean, I'm sure you guys seen some articles. I mean, even Bill's talking good about the Eagles' defense and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you look at it from the outside standpoint, it looks like he's a little nervous himself going into today's game.
Yeah, he definitely does. But I just wonder if he's just saying that in front of the media, then he's going to be like this evil mad scientist behind like closed doors and doing his daily check on doing breakdowns of the Eagles' defense, and with the Eagles having a new defensive coordinator and an offensive coordinator, I feel like this is where Bill Belichick can really start doing his thing here because again, and the Stars really haven't no time in the preseason. So I feel like this Bill this Bill Belichick, mastermind can really do some things here. So,
he's definitely going to try. Ever since the departure of Tom Brady over there, or up there, I should say, he looks like he's been trying to find his way again. I don't want to take nothing away from him. He's a hell of a coach, but for the last couple seasons here, he hasn't had the right pieces in the right place. So we'll see. He's definitely, the guy's definitely going to try.
Oh, he's definitely short. But look, Eddie, before we go, what is your bold prediction for the Eagles? Are they going to make a Super Bowl run, or you feel like they're going to just make it somewhere in the playoffs? What's your final prediction with the Eagles?
I think they're making a Super Bowl run all day.
Oh, wow. So you think they're going to go back to the Super Bowl. So,
oh, yeah. With their draft picks and stuff they had a hell of a draft this year. Roseman's over there. He's working his magic. Yeah, I don't see it. Kelsey's back. I know that was up in the air for a little bit in the off season, but we got, arguably the best quarterback. You've all seen that Kansas City game. So I think we're going all the way.
Yeah, well, I like it. Hey, well, listen, I want to thank you so much. And again, Eddie, this is a 5-year anniversary of Devereaux Sports. And like I said, because of you, this is where we're at now. So, guys, and plus, too.
Again, thanks, Eddie.
Thanks, Ed. He dumped him off on us.
Yeah, Ed.
Yeah. But listen.
We're still waiting for Dad to get back with the cigarettes. Come on, man.
Well, listen. One thing for sure, if you guys ever need any car trouble, my man Eddie, and I'm not trying to toot the guy's horn, so don't look at me that weird way. This dude is a mechanic like no other. This dude has bailed me out of more than any kind of trouble. If I need my car to be worked on, I take it right to the mountains. I go see Eddie. Eddie's got a sweet garage up there, and he'll help you out. The dude knows his car, so any kind of car trouble, please hit up my man Eddie. Eddie, ED3, thanks for joining on with us, and we'll talk soon, brother.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me.
No problem, Ed.
All right, that's Eddie. Wow. So, like I said, here we are reminiscing some of the great people we've come to go, with Devereaux Sports. Have gotten guys like Eddie, Dave Miletto, Joe Sullivan, some of the great people that have come through here and helped this brand out. So,
you ready to talk birds?
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, wait a minute.
Because if I want to talk birds, I'm going to tell you about phillysportstrips.com because they got all the away games lined up. You can't go today, of course. That's been sold out for a while. The Jets game, by the way, sold out because you wait too long. You got to go to phillysportstrips.com. That's right. phillysportstrips.com. Next one coming up is the Tampa trip. Got to go to Tampa, right? They also have all the home games with all the setups for the tailgates. Go to phillysportstrips.com plus anything else. You're like, I'm not an Eagles fan, but I'm a Phillies fan. You want to go to England next year. You want to go to spring training next year. You want to go to the Flyers outdoor game. You got it. You name it, they got it. Check it out. phillysportstrips.com. Tell them EOP and PM and the AM sent you.
Wow. So, again, that's a lot of fun. But, yeah, Mike, this is the day.
It's for real.
Mike, this is the day that this table, the three guys in this room, can sit here and we can talk about our birds. I am so pumped to talk about our birds. Let's go. Let's talk some Eagles football, Mike. The day has come.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah. I am going to be
now, Mike. Just like I asked Eddie, I'm going to ask you. I've heard people come up and complain. They're scared. You want to talk about me get a dog? Well, these guys have gotten a line. These guys, some of the people around here are scared to death of one Bill Belichick exposing this defense, exposing the offense because there's a new offensive coordinator, there's a new defensive coordinator. They haven't had time to work with all these excuses are starting to come up. Mike, take it away from me.
Bill could have scheduled. He could have prepped his team from the moment the schedule was released. At the end of the day, it's player on player. And I'm sorry, like if you're looking at these rosters, the Eagles are just better across the board. They have a better offensive line. They have a better defensive line. Now, New England's got a good defense. They do have a good defense.
But they are missing a lot of key pieces.
But they are. They're missing.
By the way,
Jack Jones, right?
Jack Jones is out for them.
Devontae Parker most likely will not be playing today.
Devontae Parker's not playing today. Who's the other cat that's up there that's not playing today?
Well, Stevenson is expected to play.
Yeah,
he was ill.
Yeah, but no, you got the other guy. Jack is the cornerback's not playing. Their starting right tackle's not playing. Their best offensive lineman's not playing. I think he's the guard. One of the guards. So, like, they got trouble across the board going in. Now, I know they're going to be celebrating Brady, And Insanio, I love you to death, buddy. Good luck today, but F a Pat. You know how that is. And I don't mean F this Pat next to me. I'm talking about the Patriots. Um, but it says good luck to you, Slay, and Al. Good luck to your Niners, Pat. He got him 30. I got 34-20. That's what
I
I'm.
haven't by 10 points, and
Let me
we'll
ask
get
you-
into that in a second. But I haven't by 10 points.
Let me ask you again. I checked out the NFL Network, and they think Mac Jones is going to have a step up year. Do you think he steps up in this game? Like I said, they have.
He doesn't have the weapons. It's not about Mac Jones. Like, listen, I think one of the biggest disservices for this kid so far is one, the offensive line's been brutal in front of him, and he has no playmakers except for the guys he's got to hand the ball off to. Now, they did bring in Mike Gesicki, so now he's got a little bit, he's got a viable, but he's got no wideouts to throw to other than Juju, and he's not playing today. So, again, it's not a question of, and the kid Christian Gonzalez, who Bill got in the draft, he's got to play AJ Brown. He's got to stick.
Right.
Who's going to stick Devontae Adams? Devontae Smith. Who's going to stick Dallas Goedert? You know what I mean? Like, who's going to cover, DeAndre Swift coming out of the backfield? Like, the Eagles' offense is going to oppose a lot of problems. What I said to you was a few weeks back when we were talking birds. I told you this offense is going to carry our defense until our defense is good enough to start playing together. But I don't think it's really not that far of a drop off from what Gannon did a year ago. The system that Desai runs is almost similar, with the exception of Desai is he's not laid back. Like on third down, you're not going to see our corners playing 10 to 9 to 10 yards off.
So but let me ask you though. You mentioned this earlier. It's TB12 day, right? You don't think they're going to get somehow rally around that?
That's all for fans, bro.
They're
That's all fans.
They're trying to get that 12th man pom-pommed up.
That's
it.
right.
That's it. But I mean, dude, at the end of the day,
I think it slaps the Pats in the face. To be honest with you, I'm not sorry to cut you off, but I'm just saying. I think if I'm the Pats, I think if anyone just kicks them in the dinghy and reminds them that. It just reminds them that they're not where they used to be.
They're not where they used to be. And that guy actually left and won a Super Bowl after he left.
Yeah, it reminded.
Bill hasn't been nowhere near there since then.
I think it's a bad choice to make it game one of the season, on top of it against the Eagles, who beat. I mean, I guess
it's their last loss in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
their last loss came against the Birds. So it's a team that beat you in the Super Bowl. You're having it at home, and you're bringing back a guy who had a falling out with the organization, who's just hey, he's retired now. So they're probably going to, do his retirement number or whatever. Nobody will ever wear number 12 again up there. But to me, I mean, it's all that was to me, it looked like a money grab. It's for all the Patriots fans who love Brady. They get to come out and salute Tom terrific one more time. Right. And he gets to go off in the sunset. But I mean,
to me, it's almost like the Cowboys fans. Remember those rings we won back in the 90s?
yeah.
It's not as bad, but close enough.
Yeah, it's falling that shoe. So again, Mike, who do you think is going to eat on defense? You think Jalen Carter goes off on day one?
I don't know.
Because that defense is going to be nasty.
I remember Steve says, I remember how we almost blew it last year against Detroit. Game one is where you want to draw the Eagles. That is what we're.
So
we're too loaded.
So Steven, all right, I'll go with this because I was going to hold off.
He's right. He's right.
He's not wrong. But here's my thing. I agree. I think there's going to be. I already said it on Wednesday, so it's not like anything that's news breaking here. I'm just going to tell you, I think they're going to struggle out the gate. They are. There's going to be a little rust. There's new guys, new coordinators, new pieces. They really haven't played much together. All that kind of stuff is going to play a factor. And I imagine it's going to be a lot like the Detroit game last year myself. And a lot of games are like that. And you can't really judge a team off of week one. I mean, are we all thinking that the Chiefs are done and the Lions are running to the Super Bowl this year?
No, but I think the Chiefs are done.
But I'm just saying, I don't think so. But I think they're missing some key factors. Is going to be a big problem for them if they don't come back sooner than later.
I think it's just go ahead.
But my point is, I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle. I think it's going to be a 10-point game, and the last 3 points are going to come off some last minute field goal just to put them over the top. But it's going to be a lot closer than it should be in game one.
I don't think it's going to be that close. I think the Eagles are going to just take them apart. Like, again, it all comes down to talent. Like, I don't care about how Insignio says Mac Jones will have to step up this year. They got an offensive coordinator. That's the only thing I
A
can
lot,
give.
a lot of New Englanders think that that Mac Jones is just not
Well,
getting.
that's the whole thing too. Like he's not with Matt Patricia, so if you're looking at it, and they did bring back Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien's a good offensive coordinator. So Dave Yarner says, question for you guys: who's the Eagles starting running back, Swift or Gainwell? It's Swift.
Yeah, and first of all, and I got to give Dave his credit. Thanks, Dave, for being with us too, for being part of this show and being part of Denver for a little bit. But yeah, starting running backs, I think it's going to be Swift.
That's what I was hearing anyway. Just Swift's going to start for Gainwell. It's basically a three-headed monster.
So, and this is my reason why Steven's already popping in. Something's wrong with that line. -4 should be at least -8. It's just very weird. Maybe if Tom was playing, it would be -4. I think it's because it's this week 1 stuff.
It's week 1, dude. They got the odds makers got killed so bad last year on week 1.
Yeah.
That if you take a look at
what was the Lions game? That was same thing, about 3.5, 4 points.
Yeah.
So
but here's the thing,
in Arrowhead against the defending champions. I mean,
yeah, but this is what kills me, right? Like the reason why week 1, I placed a bet when the schedules came out that night. I placed a parlay for for today, week 1. Okay, I've watched the lines move, since then, like after the preseason and everything. The lines are almost identical to what the point spreads were when they dropped the night of the season drop, when the schedule dropped. They're almost very similar. There's been very little movement within, matter of fact, I can tell you one that's probably went up, and that was Washington and Arizona. It was a 6-point spread when the schedules dropped, and it's up to 7 now. That's one of them. But there hasn't been too much movement since. And when did the schedules drop? Al, in May?
Yeah.
So you figure from May till now, May till September, these people thought this is what the lines are going to be. People read too much into the lines, and they're going, "Oh,
I agree."
Like, oh well, it's only this." The lines are going to adjust with the way the league adjusts.
Yeah, if this was week 10.
Yeah, if this was week 10
and everything played out the way we expected should, then yeah, this would have been a lot.
Yeah, like if this was week 10 and the Eagles were 9-1, and the Patriots were 2-7, and it was only a 4-point game, then you'd be scratching your head going, okay, yeah, there's something wrong with this line. But opening week, like I said, last year, Vegas took a beating week 1. They took a pretty bad beating last year, and this year you could just see it. You knew it once you saw the lines come out that they weren't going to try to get beat again.
No, and again, they got a coach they don't want to play for. They want to see win. Again, to me, it was like the most like people. I feel like with the national story with Thursday night's game between the Lions and Chiefs, I feel like people want to see the upset. Okay, are the Lions a real serious contender?
Listen,
are the Chiefs falling down?
The Lions
so many
blew them out. The
Lions,
Dives,
my man Dives. What's up, buddy?
I'll be talking to you later, bud.
Yes, our boy Al here and Dives will be getting you guys. They're going to be kicking off all the action right here on the OP today with the.
Yeah, we have a busy day. We have more of a busy day than Spice Network, Mike.
I don't know. I haven't watched Spice Network since I was like 14.
We have smartphones.
We have smartphones and wives.
Now, did you have to?
I have smartphone.
Now, did you used to get the Scribble channel when you were trying to,
No, dude.
Or use a
I lived in Kensington, bro.
You know what? That's what it is. That's why his brain's scrambled. It's all that scrambled porn over the years.
Tom will be calling the play-by-play soon enough. Yeah.
Listen,
I see Tom Brady going to the broadcast and.
He signed like a
deal with them, right?
$1 trillion thing with was it CBS or something? I don't know. Yeah. It was like some ridiculous.
So he shows up and he goes right to the booth right from there.
Yeah. I think the Eagles sack Mac Jones 5 times and get 2.
Ooh, that's a bold prediction there, Mike.
Listen,
I like where Mike's head's at this morning.
Yes, I like where his head's at too.
But speaking of that whole scramble thing, no, dude, I'm from Kensington, dude. We used to get the chip boxes. We got everything for free.
Really?
Yeah, you spent like $75, got a chip box. You got every pay-per-view, everything. So.
You didn't have to go like this and then
No.
You lean your head to the left. You close one eye 50%.
You have the sock in hand,
and you just hope that you can get used to seeing purple boobies. That's it. That was what it was.
I don't know. Like I said,
or green movies.
like I said, I'm from Kensington, man. We used to just, you pay somebody $50.
Right,
you
we
get
went
a hot
from
box.
talking over there full of porn.
No, that's you.
Yeah.
Chip boxes. See, Mike knows what I'm talking about. Mike's from the old
We
neighborhood.
had the chip box and the filters. Remember the
Yeah,
like
the filters.
They were like big cylinders you put on your cable, and then it would filter out all the like free HBO, free.
Yeah, you used to
free
get everything,
yeah.
and you have to change the filters every 3 months.
And it was funny because they would shoot them something to the line that was because I remember the one time my parents called up. Our cable's not working. Our cable's not working. We had a Cinemax filter on there for years. And the guy comes in and he goes, "This is your problem," and shows him the filter. He goes, and it fixes it. My dad's like, "Damn it, I forgot about that."
You guys are just weird. Just weird. All my parents used to say, "Hey, Pat, why do you need 3 socks?" But that's a different story. But yeah,
Boxes, man. Yeah, wrestling pay-per-views used to be great. But no, getting back to Thursday night's game, I'm sorry, the Lions should have blown them out. Goff missed Ahmad St. Brown. I seen on 2 occasions where Ahmad St. Brown was running down the seam of the field wide open, and Goff threw it to the guy in front. Like, he hits Ahmad St. Brown those 2 times. We're not even talking about a game. They blow him out by 2 touchdowns on their own field. I'm sorry. I'm not feeling Kansas City. They couldn't stop the run. And I'm sorry, Chris Jones is a great player, but he's not going to be a difference maker in them stopping the run. Like those guys. What was it? I'm trying to think of the guy's name. The one that they got from Chicago, Montgomery. Montgomery and Gibbs were running at will on them on Thursday night. So I'm not sold on them. Like, you can tell. I know it's only week 1. But you can just tell. I think their Kansas City offense will obviously get better because they'll have Travis Kelce in there, and they won't be throwing the stiffs like Kadarius Toney, who, by the way, missed about 8 balls.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like everyone's like all high up on the Chiefs and the Lions and all that. I'm like, listen, I think the Lions are a good team, and I think they're making the right steps forward. But if Tony could learn how
to catch a ball, like it's a different game. But again, too, counterpoint to that is for the Lions, if Marvin Jones, he was targeted, I think 10 times and only had 2 catches. Like, I mean, targeted, which means like he had about 6 drops.
right.
So I mean, if he can hold on to a ball, it's a different outlook. Again, you don't know what teams are going to do what until after about a month.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to have at least 4 games under your belt, and you'll see like where they're going. I don't know about that, Mike. You're saying if Kelce plays or if Tony could catch the ball, if Jared Goff hits Ahmad St. Brown on that seam route instead of dumping it right in front of him, Chiefs are not even in that game. They're not even in that game.
Oh wow! So, yeah, like I said, it's going to be interesting today, though.
Question for you.
Yes.
How are you going to spend your day watching this? I mean, are you going to have?
I might as well just be here because I got after this show, I got the Phillies post game show. I got to pump out. I got the PLL article I got to get. Then on top of that, I'm going to do the Eagles article today, and then at night
you just want to hang out here with us. Is that what you're telling us?
I love hanging out with you guys. You guys are
get
great.
a pizza.
So, but
if you stick around, I get 3.
So anyway, I do want to say though, again, if you guys are just checking into the show, this is the 5-year anniversary at Devereaux Sports. Now it's officially this is the edge of Philly sports, PM and the AM. I do appreciate everyone checking into the show.
Yeah, thank you guys for getting up an hour early with us.
Yeah, so and I want to check. By the way, thanks to my man Tom Tommen checking the show. Good morning to you. Now beat it.
They don't speak to people like that.
Well, there's some people I like, but he's a snot nose.
Delco, but he had that Delco. Hey, welcome to Delco. Now get out.
Yeah.
Well, I like Ty, but then he's just a snot nosed punk, so he can keep rolling. But
Jesus.
Anyway,
thank you, Mike.
Congratulations, 5 years. Thanks, Mike.
See, we figured we didn't want to go get a big guest, so we just gave you guys us.
Yes.
We give you guys us every week, so why not?
You might as well roll with the same old porn stars.
What's the return policy on this gift?
If it's not broke, don't fix it. No,
dude, as soon as you leave out the door, it's only worth 10%. What's it, a dime on a dollar?
So anyway, getting back into this game, we're trying to get things on course here.
Whoa! Before you get back into this game, remember, sometimes things happen in life: workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law, you name it. David R. Cherry can defend you against it. CherryInjuryLaw.com, 610-565-0300. That's right. David R. Cherry at the Cherry Firm. These things are life-altering moments. Workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law. David R. Cherry will fight for your rights at thecherryinjurylaw.com or simply call him at 610-565-0300.
All right. Well, listen, that's Mike. He's got to use the bathroom. He's doing 1, 2, or 3. Congrats. Thanks, Ty. Now go back to bed, you little punk. That's my guy. I'm having 2017 flashbacks of watching Reese Hoskins home runs and Birds TDs.
Okay.
All right. Listen, I don't know. I mean, hey, listen, flashbacks of Reese Hoskins. I don't know if that's going to be supposed to be Kyle Schwarber or supposed to be a fill-in. This show has a little of the original WIP sports talk. Who's that clown behind me? But hey, listen, we have a lot of fun here, Mike, and thank you so much for being a loyal listener. We appreciate it. Thank you for, like I said, hopping on, checking us out every Sunday.
You know what, Mike? And a lot of guys who've been chiming in, but Mike and Walt, I can tell you, for instance, these guys, Insanio,
and Rogers.
I mean, I don't want to sit there and name guys, so I feel like I leave somebody out and I feel bad.
Right.
But these are guys that chime into multiple shows, post games, whatever. They're always there for us, and we appreciate you guys. It doesn't go unseen. Put it that way.
No,
I want to make sure everybody understands. It means a lot to us.
Absolutely.
Steve's another one.
Yeah, Steve's another one. Again, he checked in. Steve's another one. We have Insanio always checking from B-Town. And again,
the same porn stars.
I definitely want to say thank you to everybody. And I forgot to give a shout out to our Steel Steps brothers. And they do a phenomenal job. Again, for this past week, we've had the Attack and Third in here. We've had Steel Steps in here, and it's just guys really have taken their time, and not just Devereaux Sports, but the whole Edge of Philly Sports Network. Man, these everyone here takes their time and really trying to keep the engines going. Al, of course, does a phenomenal job.
Al, Joey, Freddie, they're the conductors of this crazy train.
Yeah. Matty B.
Trust me, I tried driving it off the rails.
Keeps falling back on the track. Those guys do a heck of a job keeping the show at bay. You got Matty B, Dives doing an awesome job, and everyone here does a phenomenal job of writing, pumping articles and such, post game, everything. So we do everything we can to provide for you guys the most content as possibly can when it comes to Philly sports and more, and lacrosse too. Don't forget my man Gary.
Yeah, our boys are lacrosse all the time,
and they're coming on at 9:00 tonight. You can catch them. Talking all across all the time, so don't miss them.
Yeah, I mean, I would watch them guys. I mean, do you really want to watch Giants and Cowboys?
No, you're right. I'd rather and I'd rather hang out
lacrosse.
Right, I'd rather hang out with my man Gary.
No, I'm just lying. I'm not going to lie. I like lacrosse, but yeah, I'll probably be tuned into the football game.
Well, you do that. You go watch them, and I'll hang out with my man Gary and my man Mike and my man Sean.
Yeah,
but they're back to their normal time. And if guys, you haven't,
they just adopted you. Yeah. That's all. You're like a pet.
Hey, listen,
my pet. This is our pet.
Yes. Those guys are
our pet Pat.
Our pet.
They just pet me, rub my belly, and
you do tricks,
and the Red Rocket comes out. So anyway, let's try and get back this on track, Mike. We are all over the place.
It's us, Mike. It's all our fault, bud.
Lord, take the wheel in this one.
But anyway, again, we are.
I appreciate it's all me. That's great.
Matty B.
With the heel line of the day.
Yes, he is the heel of the show. He doesn't like Kyle Schwarber. He definitely doesn't like Howie Roseman. He is the absolute heel.
I think it's in here. I think the only one I'm getting down here, I think we're getting the Cardinals and the Commanders. So I'm hoping, I think that's on one. I think the other one, our CBS game, I believe, is Pittsburgh and San Fran. So I might watch that one.
Oh, no, not the almighty 49ers.
Yeah, I'm going to watch them go to Pittsburgh and get their ass
handed to them.
Pittsburgh's my sleeper team. And
I took Pittsburgh today.
It's not a weird sleeper team to have, but I just.
Come on, are you really scared of Brock Purdy? And then what's behind him? Sam Darnold? Yeah, I'm shaking in my boots.
Yeah, I love how they Niners fans, Pat, sorry, pound their chest. I'm like, you don't have a quarterback.
Yo,
you pound your chest without a quarterback.
I see these.
Speaking of
these guys, bang Niner gang. Oh my God!
No, let's get it right.
They Niners fans remind me of. Remember when last year when the NLCS those Padres fans came out with that stupid song on the news.
Mhm.
What was it? It's going down or something like stupid.
Yeah, yes, it's real corny.
It's a bunch of 50-year-old white guys trying to rap.
It's going to be. They're about the same. I put them all, lump them in the
Speaking of Al, we've talked about the Niners. So let me ask you, AFC. Let's go bold predictions. Who's going to win the divisions? Right. Let's start AFC East. Who do you guys have winning AFC East?
AFC East. I took the Jets in there, but I'm going to be honest with you. Don't sleep on the Miami Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going to have a pretty good year. They got a pretty good team down there. So I'm looking at the East. I think it's going to go Jets, Dolphins, Bills, Pats, and I don't think the Pats are going. I think that whole division is going to be 500 or better.
Yeah, it's going to be the tightest race in
I think their division and our division are going to be the two tightest.
Okay, I like it. Al, who do you have for the AFC East?
This is the toughest one to call. It's easy to say the Bills. I just don't know. I just feel like the Bills keep kind of sliding down.
They keep coming back.
I'm going to go with my dark horse with Miami.
Yeah, I
mean, if it's all about Tua's health, but I think if Tua's healthy, they got some weapons and a good defense. So I'm going to go with Miami on this one.
I took the Jets only because I feel like the Jets got just as good of a defense.
Mike agrees with me. Oh, I guess.
No, he's going for all the AFC.
Yeah,
we're about to do that, Mike.
So Dolphins, but he agrees with me with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I want to see, like you said, if Tua's healthy, I want to go Dolphins. However, Jets have definitely upgraded. I still want to say the Bills are going to run with this thing, and I think the Bills had their shot of winning the whole thing multiple times, but I think that the rest of the division has now caught up with them. I still think this is the one more year that they're going to win it.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like they don't run the ball.
Right.
They don't run the ball. Like they had good running backs there, and they just don't run the ball. Like to me, they're just. That's why I got them dropping back. Like I feel like the rest of the division has caught them. But if you're looking at it, like let's just do our division winners. Like who do you guys?
That's one.
All right, so
we just did. How about AFC North? Who do you got?
North. I'm going to surprise you all. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns.
You're going Cleveland.
Yeah, I think the Brownies are. I think they win that division.
Did you just say Brownies?
Yeah, Brownies.
Okay.
You just got hungry.
Yeah.
Oh well, Pat got me up at the ass crack at dawn to come.
There's nothing wrong with a butt crack, buddy.
Yeah, yes, there is when you're hungry.
And sniffing it.
It depends on what.
Yeah.
Christ.
But Al, who do you have?
I hate to be his plumber. Oh man, this is another toughie one for me. I mean,
they're all going to beat up on each other.
Yeah, like this is definitely one. I'm going. To me, it's a. I don't believe in the Ravens. Like as everybody else knows.
I don't.
I also don't believe in the Browns either. It's going to be between the Bengals and the Steelers, and I think it come down to the last moment. I'm going to go Bengals. I'm going to go Bengals. I think Joe Burrow's that good.
Yeah, I'm going to fall in line. I'm going to say Bengals as well. Let's go AFC South.
Jacksonville.
You got Jacksonville.
Yeah.
You got Dougie P coming out.
He's the best. He's the best.
Yeah,
they're the best team in that division.
I'm going with that too. I don't.
Who else is in
Colts
there?
ain't winning this.
Tennessee.
Tennessee's not. No, please.
Ryan
Houston.
Tannehill. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill.
All right,
and
so
Derrick Henry's
we can all go across the board saying Dougie P will walk out, run the AFC South.
Mm-hmm.
All right, AFC West. Yeah, Mike.
I'm going to be different. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to win that division.
You got the Chargers. All right, Al.
Another one. It's hard not to say the Chiefs. I don't know, and I'm not going to go.
That's why I did it to be different.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go with status quo.
Definitely at the Raiders. I think the Broncos are going to be better, which gives the Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs kind of a fight. What's nice about this is all these AFC teams got to fight each other out. So hopefully they're too tired by the time we run into them in the Super Bowl. I think I don't know about the Chargers. That coach really.
Yeah, Staley's an idiot, but
he really makes it.
He's the only. That's the only
Broncos
team.
had an upgrade in the coaching. I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this one. I'm just going to go.
Yeah,
I just think they're tried and true, and until you, I mean, he's been playing 5 years, and in 5 years they've been in the playoffs every year, and then top of their division. It's hard not to bet against Patrick Mahomes unless I see something otherwise. I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
I'm with you. I think after one bad game, or not bad game, I just have after one tough loss, I can't go against the Chiefs. I can't go against Patrick Mahomes. Matty Binney wins EOP South, Dives wins EOP North. Everything else is competitive.
The
Wow.
only thing is, if you go geographical from where we all live, that could work. That could work.
Yes.
That could work because I think Dives is north of the rest of us by himself.
Yeah.
And then we all live around here, and then South would be between you and him and
Matty B?
Yeah, right.
Within the Northeast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if you're talking about where we grow up, yeah, it would be
I'm
me.
going by our geographical area.
Oh, yeah, it would be me, him, and Gus. But anyway, let's go to AFC West. I'm gonna
You
start.
just said that.
Yeah,
No,
we did.
no. Okay, I'm sorry. NFC West.
I'll go first. Seattle. Rams are gonna be a joke. The Niners, I just don't believe in the Niners, and this is not me being a hater Eagles fan. I just don't believe in the Niners. And then who else you got? The Cardinals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Cannon.
purposely,
Yeah,
they're purposely
they're
tanking.
tanking. You know, I mean,
Man, let's see. I'm agree with that. I'm gonna go with Seattle and the Legion of Boom.
I'm gonna go San Fran. I think San
Of
Fran.
course you are.
I'm just saying. I just think San Fran's still gonna.
You probably still got the red and gold pom poms. Don't let me pull out the proof.
Hey!
You
You
rock-
keep that in your pocket, pal. Let's go NFC South. I'll start with this one. I'm gonna go Atlanta.
Al.
Saints.
Pat, I'm right there with you, taking the Falcons.
I think the Falcons take a step forward, but they still are very questionable at the quarterback spot. I like Derek Carr. I think that he'd be the best quarterback they've had in a long time down there in the Saints. And they still have a very good defense and some good weapons around them. So I'm going to go with the Saints.
All right.
I like Desmond Ridder. I think he takes a great leap forward. He has not one but two stud wide receivers. He's got a stud tight end, and they just added Bijan Robinson.
Again, it's the quarterback situation for me.
I like Ridder. I'm not
I
going
can't go that
I'm
route.
liking Ridder, but
Mike.
he's just such a question mark right now.
I don't think he's a question mark.
Mike, I don't know if I can
can
agree with this. I can say 1A, 1B.
Yes.
Yes.
They're right up there with each other.
I've had that maybe right now, if you had to say Al, like in the last year, who do you hate more? I could say the Niners.
But overall, no.
But overall, no.
Yeah, let me. So I want to agree with you guys. I think they've, it's funny because like the home openers against the Vikings, and it was like what 5-6 years ago, like how the Viking fans or the Vikings became like the most annoying fan base to us, and we couldn't stand them, but the Niners have surpassed them.
Well, see, here's the thing.
I don't know
The
because it
Vikings
was
did the whole
more.
thing with the Rocky statue. They all did it. The Vikings did it. San Diego did it with the Padre fans. They all do it. They all do the same stupid thing, and it always backfires. But it was not that. At least when the Vikings did, they hightailed it out of here, and they haven't said anything since. You know what I mean?
Well, they did when they first got home.
I'm talking. They are still doubling down on this. That they got cheated somehow in an NFC championship game.
They got the most overrated head coach in all the NFL.
It's not even just that. You also had a Mr. Irrelevant who got just reduced to irrelevant.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like their coach is so he's praised everywhere. Oh, Kyle Shanahan, this guy tried to block one of the leaders in the NFL in sacks with a backup tight end. Again, I told 49er fans throughout this offseason, don't be mad at us, be mad at your coach.
Well,
you guys knew. I told them, I said, when you guys came here, you should have brought another quarterback with you.
Yeah, well, listen, we're about to be joined by a guest, my man Roy Burton, who's with Fox the Gambler, formerly with the Broad Street Line, formerly with the Eagles Outsider. He is now on the phone lines with us. Good morning, Roy.
Good morning, gentlemen. How's it going?
Good. How are you, sir?
You called it the wrong show, Roy. There ain't no gentleman here.
The
Roy,
birds are back. I'm doing good.
yes, yes. Well, listen, Roy. Again, he's been part of the Steel Step show. He's helped on the our video game show. He's really been around us, and I don't know how he hasn't lost our mind just listening to me talk for quite some time now. Roy, listen, we got the birds today. So first of all, how are you feeling about the birds today? Are you little? I've talked with Mike here. Uh, are you a little scared of the Eagles? Going against Belichick? Are you afraid that Belichick, the mastermind, is going to expose this team? Or do you have any kind of concern? Because people I've listened to have a 50-50 chance of a birds, and half the people are saying the Pats are going to win today. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm not that concerned. I mean, I'm moderately concerned because, as you mentioned, Bill Belichick. Whenever you give that man, months to prepare for a game, especially against a first-time offensive coordinator. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for the Eagles to kind of do the things they want to do on offense. So I don't think this is a walk in the park for the Eagles. But that being said, again, like this Eagles team, just talent-wise, is clearly better than the Patriots on paper. So I think the Eagles win the game. I don't know if it's a 10-point blowout, but I think they probably cover the number. But if I had to put a number on it, I'd probably say it's like 24-17 or something like that. I think it's a closer game than a lot of people expect.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be a lot closer. Again, now, do you believe that this? People are starting to believe that Mac Jones is going to have a big day today, or do you think this Eagles defense is going to get to him?
I don't see the big day coming out of Mac Jones today, and especially with the weather. I think no, I think the weather's going to play a pretty decent role, and I don't think the weather up in Foxborough is pretty good today. So I think, and if the Patriots believe in Mac Jones as much as it appears that they believe in him, which is not much,
Right.
I believe they're probably going to put the ball in the hands of Ramondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott today. So I think you're going to get a pretty heavy dose of them, and then Mac Jones when needed. So I don't think Mac Jones is going to light the world up as far as airing the ball out. And again, if he does, then God bless him, because the Eagles have a really good secondary, and they're going to take advantage of those mistakes.
Quick question, Roy. This is Al. You said Stevenson and Elliott. I mean, I know Stevenson was questionable because of an illness. Do you think they lean heavier
Right.
towards Elliott because of his dealing with the Eagles in the past a lot? Do you think that gives them an upper hand to see the carries a little bit more, or do you think they do like an even spread between the two of them, or lean more Stevenson if he's healthy coming off this illness?
Yeah, I think the illness does play a role. If I had to put a number, again, if I had to put the breakdown on the carries, I'd probably say 60-40 in favor of Stevenson.
Okay.
I think it would be a little bit heavier if Stevenson was healthy, but like you said, he's coming off the illness, so I don't think he's going to be the guy who's going to get most of the carries. But that being said, for those of you who like those player props, I think Stevenson coming out of the backfield getting receptions today is going to be a pretty big number. I think his number on DraftKings is like 3.5. I might play the over on that one. I think he's one of the better receiving backs in the NFL, and I think Mac Jones dealing with the pressure from that Eagles front is probably going to have to do a lot of dump offs and stuff, short passes to Stevenson and good tight ends. So I think Stevenson gets a lot of work out of the backfield, specifically when it comes to catching the ball as a back out of the backfield.
Hey, Roy, this is Mike. My question for you is, do you think Nakobe Dean will be able to neutralize Mike Gesicki today in that Patriots passing game? I kind of looking at that matchup because of Gesicki's size, but with Nakobe Dean's speed. Do you think he would be able to neutralize him in the passing game?
Yeah, no, I think he will. I think he will have a good game. I'm a little concerned though about Hunter Henry, because I think they're probably going to run a bunch of 2 tight end sets today, and I think Nakobe Dean will be fine. I'm not sure who gets the charge to guard Hunter Henry, or maybe it's vice versa.
It's probably
maybe Dean's on Henry, and then so I'm kind of concerned because again, I think I don't see Mac Jones airing the ball out deep to those receivers. I think Devontae Parker's out. Last I checked, he's out today. So I think it's going to be a lot of work for the tight ends, a lot of work for Ramondre Stevenson. So again, I expect him probably to play a lot of 12 sets. So I think the Kobe Dean will be fine, but whoever else gets that call at linebacker, whether it's Ellis or someone else, I think they're going to have a long day trying to cover the other tight end in the formation.
Yeah, I was thinking more or less of this could probably be a day that it sounds like Justin Evans is going to start for the Eagles at the other safety position.
Okay.
So to
Okay.
me, I think that would work out well with between Dean and him covering. My other question to you is with the Patriots being having a banged up offensive line, their best offensive lineman is out, and they're also their starting right tackle is out. How do
Right.
you, I don't think Mac Jones. Do you think Mac Jones is going to have enough time to try to even get that ball out with the way the Eagles bring pressure?
Yeah, no, the short answer is no. Yeah, I don't think he's going to have enough time. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he, the chance, the times where he does have enough time to get out, I think it'll just be like check downs and like little short stuff. But yeah, like you said, Riley Rife's out. I think they have a 25-year-old rookie who's going to play us as a City Sal. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but he's going to be like their right tackle. Brandon Graham and Nolan Smith and those guys on the edge, they should eat today. Like, I think they're going to have a pretty decent day today. That's why I said I'm not overly concerned about the Eagles not winning this game, but I think the Patriots, again, given the fact that you have Bill Belichick and you finally have an adult at offensive coordinator. No offense to Matt Patricia, but I mean, I think they've upgraded at that position over the past couple of months. So you have a real offensive coordinator this year. So I think they're going to do enough to be in the game for a while. But yeah, those Eagles defensive ends and even the line in the whole, they should have a really good game today against New England.
Yeah, Roy, and that's the kind of thing I look into it. The big picture here going into this game with the Eagles having a new OC, DC, having a
Right.
chance to work with the starters. Do you have smell any kind of rust? And I, it's going to be TV 12 day. Do you have a feeling like they're going to come out of the chute, on fire, or you think this is going to be all that's going to be put aside? And the Eagles are just going to be able to handle their business.
Yeah, like I'm not sure how much the TV 12 stuff kind of affects the Patriots that much. I'm just more concerned about the Eagles themselves being rusty, or just again, it's a different offense. Like you said, a different team, new OC, new DC. Their top 5 leading tacklers from last year, they're all gone. So I mean, again, like Kobe Dean's going to have to do a lot more than he did last year. But T.J. Edwards is gone. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Javon Hargrave. Like, it's a new front. Like, it's a new bunch of guys in that front 7. So I think the Eagles are it might take them a quarter or so to kind of get things together, to kind of figure out what works best on defense. Because again, like, you didn't see a lot of the first team during preseason, so I think the Eagles are going to probably have to fight off a little bit of rust early, but I think they'll shake that off, and I think their talent will give them the edge today.
Roy, this is Mike again. Prop bets for this game.
Yeah.
I was looking at a couple prop bets for this game. 2 that I really fell in love with in this game. One is Zeke Elliott getting a touchdown because he always finds the end zone against the Eagles, no matter no matter what. He always finds the end zone against the Eagles. But the one that I was looking at, and I saw it, I believe it was on DraftKings, it's DeAndre Swift over 3.5 receptions. To me, that sounds like 2 really good plays for this game. What are some prop bets that you're looking at that maybe might catch your eye with this game?
Yeah, like the one I mentioned before with the I think it was 3.5 receptions
for
Ramondre Stevenson. Yeah, I like that one. If I had to bet one, that would definitely be one that I'm thinking about. I like that DeAndre Swift one. I think that's a pretty good one because I think we can all agree. I think at least by the end of the year, maybe not today specifically, but at least by the end of the year, I think DeAndre Stevenson's going to lead that backfield in receptions. And so because of that, then I think he's going to be that third down guy, and I think that he's going to get a lot of third down work today for that. So yeah, so I like that. Actually, I'm like the weirdest guy here. I actually think Kenneth Gainwell is going to get a decent amount of rushing yards today. I'm looking at DraftKings right now. His rushing prop today is 16.5 for Kenneth Gainwell. I think that's remarkably low. I mean, I think he clears that easy. So if I had to put my money down over 16.5 rushing yards for Kenneth Gainwell, I think that's a slam dunk.
Yeah, believe it or not, from what I'm looking at here, they got DeAndre Swift too at over 31.5 yards.
Yeah, I think both of those clear, especially in this game. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at some of these other ones. Like, they have Juju Smith-Schuster. Is he going to play today? Because they actually have him listed.
I haven't heard. I'm not sure. I assume so.
No, because
Yeah,
I
but
heard
I haven't heard him. I mean,
yeah,
like,
I heard he was out. That's why I'm taking a look. But like, I'm looking under, for the inside, looking at over and under for yardages, and they got Juju Smith-Schuster
right.
at over under 43.5.
Yeah, I think he's doing it again. I think Parker's the only guy that I know that's out. So yeah, I think Schuster's there. What was the number again for Juju? Was it
43.5.
Ooh, that seems a tad low.
Yeah.
I think, but again, it's with the weather, it kind of throws it. Like, I just hate 43.5 is low, but I hate betting receiving receiving wide receivers in heavy rain, and I think it's going to be a pretty decent downpour for most of the game today. So, and Mac Jones is terrible. So
I got a question for you.
Kind of have to balance it out.
Do you think the Birds defense gets a pick six today?
I think they get a pick. I think they get at least one pick. I think the Mac Jones interception prop might not be terrible today. They had a pick six in that opener last year against Detroit. So are they going to do it 2 years in a row? I don't know, but I definitely if you can find a Mac Jones interception over 0.5, take that, because he's definitely going to give one up today.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me ask you, Roy. Let me ask you, what kind of day you think Jalen Hurts is going to have today?
Oh, I like Jalen Hurts today. Again, I'm not concerned about Jalen Hurts. I think he's going to. Again, I know this offense is going to look a little bit different, but I think he'll be fine. Again, there's so many weapons and so many options on this offense. Again, you have a full complement, of receivers. You have Dallas Goedert. You have multiple guys. Swift and Gainwell that you can kind of throw the ball to out of the backfield, and he's really good. And yeah, granted, the New England Patriots, their rushing defense was excellent last year. They were top 7 rushing defense last year. But again, like, Jalen Hurts is just such a dynamic player. Should have been the offensive MVP, or should have been the MVP last year. So I think he's going to figure out a way to make things happen. Because you saw his offense. Like, whenever they can kind of move up and down the field, whenever they want. Again, I think they'll be a little rusty. But we might see, what we saw, for the most part of last year, where, like, the first quarter they kind of found their ground, and then the second quarter they would start to kind of put some distance between them and other teams. So first couple drives might be a little iffy, but again, once they figure things out, I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a fine game.
All right, Roy. Well, I think you're right. I think he's going to have a big time game, like you said. Once comes out of the shoot, a little rusty, but like you said, he'll make his end game adjustments. Nick Sirianni, I think, is going to be just fine. Like you said, the only part that worries me is like the new OC's DC kind of aspect of it, them possibly getting rocked a little bit. But like you said, I think after once they figure some things out, make the right adjustments, I kind of agree with your same score. I think it's going to be a 21-17 kind of a win. Let me ask you though, since it is opening day Eagles football, who is your all-time favorite Eagles player?
Oh, absolutely. There's only one guy for me, and that's number 12, Randall Cunningham, QB Eagles. For you Tecmo Bowl fans out there, he's my all-time guy. He's the guy who I had the poster of in my room growing up. So yeah, Randall Cunningham for me. He's never going to be knocked out of that number 1 spot. I don't care how many Super Bowls this current iteration of the Eagles win. Randall Cunningham is always going to be my guy.
I like it. So let me ask you too, Roy. Now, have you always been an Eagles fan? Maybe when you're a little guy, maybe you liked another team, or were you just always bleeding green?
Eagles have always been my team. The Eagles are. I've kind of bouncing around when it comes to the baseball, because the Phillies were terrible when I was growing up. So
right.
I was a White Sox fan for a lot of my youth. But no, I've always been an Eagles fan. Ever since I started watching football, it's always been Go Birds and all that stuff. Again, Reggie White and Reggie White poster on my wall. I had a Reggie White plaque on my wall. I had a Randall Cunningham a poster on my wall. I've always been diehard Eagles fan since birth.
That's funny you mentioned that, because I'm actually sitting here. I got my throwback Jerome Brown jersey on today.
Nice.
So again, listen, so somebody in this room, again, I was growing up liking the winning culture. So I got to admit,
that's a nice way of saying bandwagon.
He was a bandwagon hopper.
Well, listen, I grew up, and I was a Niners fan, so I was a Niner little guy, and I eventually grew up.
Now he's an Eagle little guy.
Now, I mean, after maybe like 5 or 7 years of my life, I switched over. I realized where I live. I looked on Google Maps, and I realized, I should maybe be an Eagles fan because I'm not going to be able to high five anyone else. So. But Roy, I got to ask you, let you go before I let you go. What is your game meal? It's a 4 o'clock game. I love 4 o'clock games. What is a Eagles prime? What's your meal of the day? Now I'm a guy who likes to go. It's like religion to me. I got to go cheesesteak. I have to have a cheesesteak on opening day. I'm
Religion
a strange
or
person.
cliche? I'm just asking.
It's more of a cliche, but anyway.
Pat, you have a reason every year to have, or every Sunday to have a cheesesteak.
Well, yeah, but Roy, what's your take? What's the meal of the day?
So I'm typically, like you said, you try to eat well for the most part during the week, so you can kind of have that cheat day on Sunday, so you can do your
Yes.
thing.
Oh wait,
So
we're supposed to do this during the week.
Yeah.
Roy, I didn't get that memo.
Yeah, so for me, I'm more of a hoagie guy. I try to stay away from the cheesesteaks and kind of keep them for super special occasions. So yes, I'll get me a nice hoagie. Probably a couple of beverages, adult beverages to go with that, and enjoy the game. So yeah, I'm more of a hoagie than a cheesesteak guy.
like
But
where
if
your
it's
head's
a big game, I do like cheesesteaks.
All right, I like it. So. All right, well, listen, Roy, I want to say thank you so much for hopping on. Again, guys, check Roy out. He's on Fox Chandler Sports. He in Broad Street Line podcast. You can catch Roy everywhere. Roy, I want to say thank you so much. Today is our 5-year anniversary, but you've been on sporadically through the course of the year. And of course, you've been on Steel Steps with my man Hakeem and Joey Woods and Chris, and then you did the video game show with me and Austin. And this guy here knows his video games. He's got a great. Al, this guy's got great 90-game video games. My man knows some techno ball.
We could talk.
Yeah, we could definitely talk.
Definitely.
But look, Roy, I just want to say thank you so much for hopping on. And anytime you want to hop on with here, you're more than welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it. Go Birds.
Go Birds. Guys, that's Roy Byrne. Check him out. Broad Street Lines. Give him a follow on Twitter, Instagram. Go check him out. Great stuff as always. Great analogies. I mean, really knows his stuff. Great. I wouldn't say he's a 5 for 5 man. He knows his all 4 sports, and he knows his pro wrestling. So give him a check out.
And you know what? Give him a check out. Also, go check out Dolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park. It's a little rainy, soggy day here in the Delaware County area, Philadelphia area. So if you want to not sit in and watch the game, and of course, unless you're not going up to Foxborough with Philly sports trips, a good place to go is Dolan's Bar, dolansbar.com, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can find them. Quiz on music, great times, great food, amazing place. Tell PJ that EOP and PM in the AM sent you.
Yeah. So, and again, we are here on Edge of Philly Sports. We are going to have ourselves a busy day. We have the Phillies post-game show today. We have an Eagles halftime and post-game shows with you. Of course, Al dies. You know those guys. And of course, at 9 o'clock today, we have All Across All the Time. So check out my man Double G, Double S, Double M. And if guys you have not known, I'm telling you now, the new schedule for Matty B is Monday. It's at 8 p.m. and a special start time this week. The attacking third will be 9 o'clock, getting you ready for Union in Cincinnati. The list is right there in front of your screen there for all the great shows.
That's the rest of the day, and I believe I have already done next week. So there's your Monday.
So look, I mean, back to back, you can't get no better than that. So we have great lineup
And look
of shows.
up, Pat, I put a nice cheesesteak in the background for you.
Oh, I could just gobble that up now. So
the cheesesteak, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
the source of the meat. Yes.
Yes.
But anyway, you're right, Mike, over there. You need another
I
coffee?
think I just retired, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike
check out.
Guys, it's been a good 5 years. Mike said,
Eddie, make room. I'm coming up to the mountains.
So Al, listen, Mike, Al, we've been doing this now for over a year. The PM and the AM show has moved over. What's it been like for you guys?
hell.
Well, yeah, that sums up in one word.
You know what? No, actually, this has been good. It's been good for me because I've always enjoyed talking sports. I mean, granted, I don't have to deal with a moron every Sunday. But
Hi.
see, there we go. But no, honestly, Pat, no, I've had fun with this, man. And we kind of took it serious. Even through and I got a chance to meet people that I thought that I would never meet in my life. Guys like Al, Vinny Quinn, Johnny Barger.
Sorry to say that.
What do you mean? No, dude, listen, we have you in high regard. We do. But I never thought I'd be writing articles. Not at all.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would be, you know.
I used to tell my English teacher, I'm never going to write another report again.
Yes.
Between
No,
this
but the
job and
thing-
my other job, I write about 1,000 reports a
Yeah.
week.
Now, here's the thing. Like, from us doing our wrestling background, sometimes you get noticed. Yeah, but like, I never thought I would get noticed for doing this, and then like, literally just pumping gas one day, dude's like, "Oh man, P&M in the AM," and it's like, you've gotten it. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Al gets it all the time because he's a Delco legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In his
He's
own
the mayor.
right. In his own right.
He's the mayor of Delco. I'm just the mayor of McDade Boulevard, like my little section.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been cool, man. It's been something I've had a lot of fun with, and obviously we enjoy doing it because
Yeah, and again,
you're always seeing our faces on this network.
right. And so again, you and I have worked. Like I said, again, you worked with a couple other people, but you and I have settled. You know what? Me, Mike, it's going to be a hit Sunday mornings.
Dude, I miss your brother in Lieb.
Oh,
Roasting them guys every Sunday morning.
I can't figure out which one has the higher IQ.
That was Mike's favorite meal, was roasting your
My
brother.
brother? Yeah.
I mean, listen, it was
open
great.
spit.
Listen, I love being on with the Scrapple Boys because you know what? It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Trying to keep them two guys in line. It was great.
Yeah, those two fought like cats and dogs. So, but yeah, like I said, it's been real. We got to meet again Roy Burton. Again, I through Hakeem, led me to Roy, and Roy's one of the greatest people you can know. Again, getting to meet Dives and his crew, and my brother from another mother and father, Sean Bernard. Getting to meet him, becoming good friends with him, and like I said, you become good friends with a lot of these people, guys who have the same passion as you.
By the way, I just got a message from Sean Bernard. He goes, he does not know you that well.
Yeah, he doesn't know me
He
from a
doesn't-
can of paint.
He doesn't.
He
No,
said,
he-
stop
I mean,
using his last name.
He said, Pat Bernard who?
Yeah, he wishes not. The only time he knew me was when I threw a bag over my face. But anyway, again, like you said, Mike, here we are interviewing players, former players, movie directors. I never thought it would happen. So it's been a real, like I said, it's been a great. So anybody who's done podcasting, I suggest do it. It's a lot of fun. So
What is R.P. Murphy's?
R.P. McMurphy's is a bar on McDade Boulevard that has been shut down for a while. So it'd be an easy place to do a show from. Just got to kick a hole in the wall.
Yeah,
and,
well,
I never.
Yeah.
We're better
Is
off.
that your Tom and Jerry's? I think.
no, it's across from the old McDaddy Mall.
Oh.
Um,
Oh, okay, right out here.
there's the McDonald's on the cross. It would have been right across the parking lot from there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And like you said though, one thing when we
I'm
made
still learning my way out here.
like you said, getting
Welcome.
getting to work with some guys like from our past, from I give credit to Nate Moss, to John Barger, Vinny Quinn, all those guys.
You ain't gotta give him credit.
But I got I just
I'm just playing.
yeah. So get to work with a lot of people, and then like I say, coming over
They
here.
all keep leaving them.
Yes.
Take a hint, Pat.
Yeah. So, but of course, Team Well, here with Al and and everybody here just love doing it. And
Did you ever think you'd be covering games? At
no,
the press box?
I got to ask you, and I was just about to get into that. Like, I would never thought I'd be covering games at a press box. Never be sitting there interviewing players and coaches. Like, that's a good special feeling, and that's here at EOP. Like, that's like a real good feeling. Like, I love doing it. So, again, like I never would thought in my dreams of doing this, like that's where I would be. Like me talking lacrosse and me spelling my own name on an article, like that's hard enough. But here I am.
Thank God for spell check.
Yeah. Getting the honor to go up to Rochester, go cover a game, getting to go everywhere, and like I said, talking to players, people from all over the country and all over the world is just like I said, just a spectacular thing to do, and it's really, like I said, it's been really cool. But like I said, today is the open day Eagles. So anybody out there, and I'm going to go to you and Al, Mike. Who is your favorite all-time Eagle player? All time. I mean, just when it comes to bleeding, football, the first guy that caught your eye, and you're like, that's my guy, no matter. No, I'm not talking about the best. I'm talking about your personal favorite. The guy who put on the Kelly green or put on the midnight green, he just became good.
When I started watching, I mean, there's a plethora of them, but the guy I guess I kind of gravitated to the most was off of the Buddy Ryan defense. Would be Byron Evans.
Byron Evans.
Byron Evans. Which I mean, I love the linebackers. So Byron Evans, Seth Joyner, William Thomas. But yeah, Byron Evans was my guy, man. Byron Evans.
Byron Evans. How about you, Al?
I mean, it's the easy way out. The easy thing to say is always, and like the guy's first jersey I ever wanted, they're like right away. And I mean, went out and bought the authentic, not the print on, ones that they buy. Like, us poor guys from Clifton Heights would buy. But like the one I spent my first big paycheck on was Brian Dawkins.
Yeah.
Game worn jersey, like that whole 9 yards. I got about 3 Dawkins jerseys, 2 signed. So yeah, he's always been my guy.
Okay.
But my 1A and 1B, Jason Kelsey, man, I know he's still playing. So it's like people always go, "Oh, he's still playing." I was like, yeah. He is everything I thought I would love to be as a kid growing up playing football. I was a center. I loved playing center. There's always a mentality to playing line Eagles or O line and D line, but especially O line in football because you have to want to do it.
Yeah.
As a kid growing up, everybody wanted to be the quarterback, the running back, the wide receiver. You know what I mean? If you wanted to be a lineman, the coach knew you were touched in a certain way.
Yeah.
But a good touch, not a bad touch.
I love being touched.
Go home.
I set him up for that one.
Yes.
But no, like I wanted to be an O-line, but then on top of it, his personality is big and over the top. Always like I've been like I always wanted to. He is a star at center. Like that's not something you really heard of. Guys doing commercials are not linemen.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks. Even coaches are doing more commercials or raising a ton of money, doing a bar, bartending down in Sea Isle. And he's doing it in my hometown. He's doing it in Delco, which also just kind of adds a little extra flavor for me. So yeah,
He's got a man crush for
I do. Like Jason Kelsey's what I aspired to be when I was younger, when I thought I could actually play in the NFL. When I thought I had a chance. But so I would have to go Jason Kelsey.
Well, here goes Steve. He says for him was Jerome,
Wes Hopkins and Andre
Waters.
Waters. That was a great.
These are great guys, and these are guys that got me started, like the Wes Hopkins, all those big.
He's often forgotten about. Like, I mean, like you don't hear him.
I can never forget him for one reason, and I'll tell you why. I'm walking through my buddy. I'm with my buddy and his uncle. And his uncle's wearing a Hopkins throwback jersey, right? And he's walking, and there's this guy. He's drunk off his ass. We're walking through the link, and he goes, "Hopkins." We're like, yeah, Hopkins. Like, because again, a lot of people often forget about him. I love Bernard Hopkins. Wrong Philadelphian, bro.
Dude,
and forever that day, Wes Hopkins will forever be in my memory.
Dude, I got a story like that. Maybe I went to a rally house. I was looking for a Wayne Simmons jersey. And the guy there, I said, yeah, can I get a Wayne Simmons? First of all, the first person had no idea who I was looking for. Second person goes,
yeah, the Wayne Train, choo-choo, Wayne Train.
So the second person goes, you idiot, he plays for the Sixers. I was like, no, that's Ben Simmons. I'm looking for Wayne Simmons for the Flyers, you idiot. So, but yeah, like I said, for me, though, growing up, I mean, again, you go back, I was a Reggie.
By the way, it's not really breaking news, but you guys asked the question earlier. What would this lineup look like? And it looks like Sosa is in, but Stott is still in too. So,
oh, nice.
Who's getting the day off, Trey?
No, Trey's in. All right, so here's your lineup for today's Phillies game. Schwarber is the is in left field. I'm sorry. Turner's shortstop. Harper's DH. Bohm first base. Stott second base. Remuto catcher. Marsh is in center field. And Castellanos is in right field, and Sosa is at third base. So.
Who does that leave out?
Yeah, who does that leave out? Why does it seem wrong?
The Bohmer.
No, Bohm's at first.
Yeah, Sosa's in for Cave.
Cave, that's right.
Okay.
Cave played last night. That's right. So yeah.
All right, so that's about the only piece. So again, for me, I liked Reggie, but I mean, to me, how do you for beloved? How do you not love Nick Foles? He became the ultimate Rocky story. I mean, a guy. When Carson Wentz went down, who everyone loved beyond the measures. So the minute he went down, everyone just wrote doom and gloom for Nick Foles, and no one gave this guy a shot. And then when he shocked the world, going that crazy, we all know the 2017 playoff Super Bowl run. It was, and then you're going against you outdueled Tom Brady on the biggest stage. Nobody saw that happening.
I agree with you on that one. And he will forever be a folk hero.
Listen, that statue that they have down there, that's going to be down there from now until the cows come
And
home.
it's fine because everyone, I had this feeling that everyone had Carson Wentz being that guy, being the most beloved guy for the next decade.
No, Carson had himself being that beloved
No,
guy.
a lot of people were feeling it. I mean, he was putting up 50 that year. He was putting up 50 burgers and so forth. I mean, in the year prior, he beat the snot out of the Steelers, so people were feeling that he was going to be that guy. But when he went down, and then Carson, Nick Foles took over, like everyone already had this guy out the door, and he hangs in with Atlanta. Again, this Minnesota team that would look like they're going to beat the brakes off the Eagles, and it turned on it was a complete flip flop. And then he outduels Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I mean, how do you not? How do you not have that guy as the one of the
Insanio said my favorite Eagle is McNabb. I guess so. He puked on the field.
number 5 will always love you?
Steve, I agree with this. It says Wes Hopkins should get closer to B-Dog cred. He was my first football jersey, and I feel like he has been semi-erased from the conversations.
It's the error. I mean,
It is.
Yeah.
If you talk with guys around our age, I'm in my late 40s.
You go,
guys around my age, they're going to bring up, they're going to look at you and say, hey, you know what? Brian Dawkins may have retired the number, but there was a guy who wore number 20 before him that was just as good and just as nasty, and Andre Waters.
Right, and that's a good point, Mike, because that's what a lot of people would say. The bleeding green would be from the 80s and 90s, and anything after the millennium would be Brian Dawkins, I would just say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys. I mean, even Jerome Brown is another name that a lot of people know, even if you're a newer, younger Eagles fan.
Right, because
he was that level.
Right, and they kind of, and this is where I kind of pat my generation on the back, because we Eagle fans, you tell your kids about Jerome Brown and how nasty he was. Like, to me, I felt like his death in the 90s, when he passed away in 92, it altered the Eagles franchise. It really did, because if you look at it, when he passed away, after he passed away is when everybody started leaving. They didn't want to be here anymore. I mean, look at it. You really look at
Mike,
it.
he was a prima donna.
You really got to look at that. If you look back at that, him passing away was the first shoe to drop, because Raymond sold the team 2 years later. So think about that for a second. If Jerome Brown doesn't get killed in that car wreck and he stays here, there's a good chance Reggie stays here. There's a good chance Seth Joyner stays here. Good chance Clyde Simmons stays here. Buddy Ball.
I don't know. Do you think with all with all the money issues he had, that had no, I don't know if that would have been able. He would have been able to do all that.
What do you mean? Raymond, you talking about?
Raymond, yeah.
Well, I'm saying he sold the team
because he didn't have any money left. So I think he had to piecemeal the team away. It would have mattered, and he had to sell the team because he had no choice in the matter. I don't think he could have ever. I think he destroyed him that way.
He did, but I felt like he could have kept them around. He had the money to sign Reggie. He had the money to keep guys like Seth Joyner here. Like, he chose not to. He wanted to. He was a used car salesman. You know what I mean? It's not that he didn't have the money, because he made an awful lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at
didn't he gamble it all away or whatever?
No, you're thinking of Leonard Toast.
I'm saying Toast, yeah.
That's Leonard Toast.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Norman Braman. Braman had a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But was he cheap with it? Wasn't that the problem?
Yeah, that was the problem. But he loved Jerome Brown. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Jerome Brown would have been an Eagle forever. Like, to me, I felt like that was the first domino.
Like maybe mentally burned him a little bit, you think?
Maybe.
Like, you think like maybe he just kind of lost the love or the thrill of it? Like,
maybe, because you figure he got it. He got the team in '87. He hired Buddy Ryan, and then was sold the team 7 years later, and he sold it in '94. So he wasn't an owner real long here. So to me, that just tells me, he came in. He basically treated the Philadelphia Eagles like a business. He bought it, made a he bought it, made a little bit of coin off of it, and got rid of it.
Well, like I said,
he was. That's right.
June of
So
92.
Steve's saying June of '92 was a whirlwind of changes. Brown dies, Chuck leaves, Lindros comes, Herschel Walker signs. It really was a total sports hurricane at the
It
time.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very good point, Steve. Steve
I
always
thought-
got
I
good
thought-
points.
Hold on. I thought Barkley was traded in '93.
Well, pretty much around that time.
Well, anyway, yeah, it's around. It was. He might be right though. I do remember because it might have been around the same time. That's another one. Like that dude, the guy who owned the Sixers back then, Cats. Now that dude was bad.
Right. So, and again, I just like I said, this is pretty much we are
Yeah,
celebrating.
'92.
Yeah, like I said, we are celebrating 5 years of being on the air and 5
June
years.
17th to be exact.
Right.
Okay.
And we are celebrating it's open day Eagles and what made you an Eagles fan and all that stuff. So let me ask you both guys a question. What was your moment that you saw live at an Eagles fan? What was your favorite moment that you saw live?
Me and my brother went to the first Monday night game, and I believe the Eagles were off Monday Night Football for about close to a decade. I'll say about 8 years. They played the New York Giants. We went to the game, and that's the infamous Randall Cunningham gets hit by I want to say it was Carl Banks. He gets hit by Carl Banks. He kind of bounces back, catches his balance, and throws a touchdown to Jimmy.
Thank you, Matty B.
Giles Jimmy Giles catches a touchdown, backup tight end. He was Keith Jackson's backup, and the Eagles win that game on Monday Night Football.
Matty B, I want to hear from you. Who's your favorite Eagle? What was your favorite?
Howie Roseman's his favorite Eagle.
How about you?
4th and 1 twice in '95. Yeah. I remember
Oh, that was an
That's a
awesome
good
game.
one. Yeah, I remember that. That was like Matty B. To be honest with you, that was like I felt like the day I got knighted an Eagles fan. Like I was accepted into the brotherhood. I was squiring up until that point because I mean at that point I was about 12, 13 years old. When you're this young, you got all your uncles and your parents and your father and your grandfather, and your older cousins, and they're the ones who are talking about it, and you're just kind of soaking it in and learning about it. But that was the time, like that was my first real memory where I remember just watching it and legitimately cheering because I wanted to, not because everybody else in the room was. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was that moment for me.
That was a crazy game. I remember it was cold as hell that day.
So, Al, what's your favorite movie that you saw? Moment you saw live.
Memorable moment and favorite moments.
Yeah,
right.
your
I'm gonna give
favorite
you
that you
two.
saw live.
I saw live 2. My favorite moment was the moment I realized this Eagles team in 2017 could win the Super Bowl. This could be our year. It was at that Eagles Broncos game when they just
the 50 burger.
Just destroyed them. And I look back.
Von Miller was supposed to come here and do some business.
Yeah, and I'm looking back and I'm like, this team, like this team was doing really well at that point, but like that was my moment. Like this is the first time, like anytime we beat good teams in the past or bad teams, it was never easy. We never had an easy moment. But we were on the train, and I'm like this train is on the tracks. But in the same year, my most memorable moment that I did see live, because I was in LA that day, was when Carson Wentz went down.
Oh, you went to the Big Toilet Bowl?
I was at the Coliseum for that
Big
game.
Toilet Bowl.
I was at a thing for work, and we figured, hey, we're out here at the same time. It's in December. It's in LA. Let's go get the Eagles game, and we'll leave after the game. And I just remember sitting. Now, just started doing EOP at the time. One of my first 15 articles I ever wrote had to be about the first time an Eagles win, and I'm sitting in the airport at LAX, and it felt like a funeral service. With a bunch of Eagles fans, and it felt like a funeral service.
Wow. So for me, Al, I'm going to piggyback with you that my favorite moment is, going back to that Super Bowl run, because usually when we come on sports radio, we talk about.
Hold on 1 second. Matty B saying Wilbur Montgomery.
Favorite
Matty B, remind me later. Maybe we get him to call on your show. I have an idea. Later.
Okay. So again, I'm with you, Al, because
Quentin, Merry Christmas, Philadelphia.
Yes, thank you. I'm with you, Al, because I remember that year. Because usually on sports radio, they call up and they say, "Hey, this guy's a Pro Bowler." Nobody was saying Pro Bowler that year. They felt like this was going to be bigger than that. And then you seen the 50 burger, and again, we were just cruising through every game. We only had one loss. It was the second week against Kansas City. After that, we were just cruising by. Um, and then we obviously again we lose Carson Wentz, and Nick Foles just picked it up and goes on the run. And that Minnesota game spoke volumes to me. Like, wow, like Minnesota, they hyped up Minnesota was going to be the next franchise.
Well, that was that Minnesota game also
the next dynasty franchise.
Yeah, like that Minnesota game in the playoffs you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's when I like because listen, we all kind of thought it would be a pipe dream the Eagles won after Carson went down, right?
Correct.
And let's be honest, everybody we remember the
Atlanta
the good now, but let's remember he came out after that game. Foles went to New York and barely scraped a win against them.
No. He had a good game in that New York game.
It was a
good
game.
The Oakland game
on Christmas.
I was at that game too. Me, Joe Sheeran,
that was freezing cold too.
A couple guys I originally started EOP with that aren't here anymore, freezing our aces off Christmas night. And couldn't scrape by a really not good Raiders team.
They should have lost that game.
And then, of course, they didn't play against Dallas the next week. They sat all their starters, I should say. And then that Falcons game, I was at that game, another big one. And, I mean, a game that Julio Jones catches. I mean, a ball that Julio Jones catches
just
9 out of 10 times. I mean, he just dropped it. I mean, we got lucky. There was a lot of luck. So that I remember watching. I was supposed to be at that Vikings game, but I got a severe double ear infection, and I would give my ticket up to somebody. I remember I couldn't even. Every time I would cheer, it hurt. Like I would, I would scream. I had my head on the pillow. I had to put my TV on the side because I couldn't pick my head up off the pillow. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, in the decimation of the. I'm like, yeah, this team could do this. This is very possible.
Even I want to take a step further, right? When I heard that Nick Foles was going to come back just to be the backup, I just went, all that other stuff. And then just think about it. The backup QB, Nick Foles, outduels Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Let me ask you guys your feelings. Like, when it happened, what were you doing? Like, what was going through your body?
Wow.
Like when the clock strokes 0 and the Eagles.
Dude, I shed a tear. I ain't gonna lie. Because
I know a lot
just
of people did.
Well, here's the thing.
I was giving stranger hugs.
Listen, you do that on a Saturday night. Matty B,
Scott, Joey,
Matty B's 4th and 26. That was a good one. I'm gonna give you one. Me and my buddy Sean, Big Nasty. We went to the New Year's Day game, wild card round against Tampa. When the Eagles smoked them, they beat them like 21-3. Mm-hmm. That was the day Hugh Douglas had like 5 or 6 sacks. Yeah, or he had like 4 sacks in the game. Sean King was their quarterback.
Speaking of, I want to
send
another
condolences out. Yeah, definitely.
To the Hughes family.
Yeah.
Hugh, for those who don't know, Hughes' 25-year-old son died tragically in a motor vehicle accident. And Hugh is a former Eagle as well as on WIP afternoon show with our former EOP alum Kyle Quinn as producer.
Yes.
And it's just again
sad.
Love.
Yeah.
Send them.
But
positive vibes.
My favorite movie that I got to see live, again, speaking of that Super Bowl run, was the Jake Elliott kick. That 62 yarder that he nailed, and that's what set the Eagles, against the Giants. That's what kind of set the Eagles on their path, because it was a go back and forth. Your normal Eagles and Giants game.
Please don't tell me you don't remember who said "Merry Christmas, Philadelphia."
I thought he was saying Merry Christmas because, it's Christmas Day to us. Because
yeah, same.
I don't know, Quentin, enlighten us.
Yeah, we're not.
We've been on since
8 a.m.
We're a little delirious right now.
Yeah, we're a little delirious.
We're always
maybe
delirious.
Remind me, jog my memory, but right now.
Yeah.
I picked the Birds to win the Super Bowl after the Carolina game in 2017. Officials did everything they could to screw the Birds on the road.
I remember that.
It didn't matter. 2 games in 4 days. That was it for me. Yeah. No, Steve, that was a good one because I remember
that was a Thursday nighter.
I was the one pounding my chest that everybody's like, "Oh, hey, I'm not a big Cam Newton fan," but I was like pounding my chest. I'm like, I don't want to hear this crap about the Carolina Panthers. Everybody's Carolina Panthers, this and that. They were supposed to be the big team to go and make a big run for the Super Bowl that year, pounding their chest. And I'm like, I think we got this one. So that's a good one too.
And just remember, like I said, that's
Oh, yeah. Jeff Garcia. Okay. I know
Jeff-
what he's talking about. Jeff Garcia. Remember when McNabb went down? Or is that when they benched him? I'm trying to remember.
Oh no! That's the
was-
game.
yeah.
Westbrook went down at like the 1 yard line.
Yes.
All right, now I know
Yeah,
what
yes,
he's talking
yes.
about. Yeah. They played Dallas. So they played Dallas on Christmas Eve or something. It might have been. It was either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, and that was the game Westbrook didn't score the touchdown. He literally broke away. He broke like a 20-some-odd yard.
Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to do that. Nobody knows what we're laughing at.
Oh, that's great. Good thing you ain't had your camera on.
Yeah.
But no, it was. I think it was
You
Christmas
guys
Eve.
just saw my O face. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was like Christmas Eve or whatever. And I remember they were running the ball, and Westbrook broke into the secondary, and he literally got to the 1 yard line and just dropped down.
Well, I remember my boss was on a cruise at the time of that game, and he was taking a picture on the cruise, and they had a big screen in the background of the Eagles game, and he took a picture of it, and he had that picture like up on his wall, and forever like that was always something we talked about. I should remember that right away.
Yeah, and like I said, there's so many moments, and like I said, I'll go back to that Jake Elliott because I was with my brother-in-law, and we're both in it. We were watching it from the bird's nest. And I was just, when I saw that go through, I was like, "Wow!" And then you heard Carson Wentz saying, "If he makes this, I'm buying this dude dinner." And sure enough, Carson,
You know what I took out of that season? They played two teams. Like Denver was really, really good, and the Rams were really, really good. And they put up some numbers on those teams. And I remember too, didn't they drop a 50 burger on the Niners that year too?
I don't remember the Niners.
I
remember
it was like
Denver.
back-to-back weeks that they dropped 50 points on teams. They dropped 50 on there
Yeah,
like
can
twice.
you quickly research that?
What?
The
2017. I could have sworn they put a 50 burger up on the Niners too that year, because it was an ass whooping. I know that.
Yeah, well, they beat up a lot of teams.
33-10. That was on October 29th. It was 33-10.
Still, that's still a beatdown.
Yeah, 23.
So hold on. So the only team I knew they
Hold on.
I knew they scored 50 more than once that season, because I remember we were talking about it, and I was like, no way.
Let's see. The bigger beatdowns were
Denver.
Of course, the Bears 31-3. That was another big one. I remember that one. Denver was the biggest one, 51-23. They beat the Cowboys 37-9 that year. That's another big beatdown. Anything bigger than that? Let's see.
I could have sworn that they had
Seahawks. They beat by 14.
They lost that by 14. They lost that.
Oh, sorry, they lost that one. You're right. They lost that one.
That was the one Aguilar finally made a catch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
catches. Maybe you can go talk to Tony and see if they can help him out. That Raiders game was too close. Of course, that Cowboys game at the end of the year was meaningless 6-0. The other bigger beatdown was the Eagles Vikings.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why. I thought they scored more. I know that they put a beating on the Niners.
And they beat the Commanders by 13 in week 1. Lost the Chiefs. Close that 60-yard field goal
right against the Giants.
Chargers was a close game, 26-24. The Cardinals 34-7. It was another fairly big beatdown. Then the Panthers game was by 5. They beat Commanders by 10, Niners by 23. 29 points they beat the Broncos by. The Cowboys, they beat them by 27 points. The Bears, they beat them by 28 points.
Was that
14 points?
What was
they
the score?
lost
What was the score of the Bears game?
31-3.
31-3.
They let them have one field goal.
Yeah. Again, it's just that like I said, that year was crazy because, again, Carson Wentz was pretty much going to be the reigning MVP that year if he didn't go down. And then you just go to Nick Foles, and Nick Foles just carries the load for you. So, again.
That was another game I was at, the 44-6
Were
game.
you there?
Yes, I was. I literally lost.
Is that the one where they snuck it into the playoffs that year?
Yeah, they needed everything to go right. They had to beat Dallas. Oakland had to beat somebody, and
Raiders and Tampa.
And they had to go. And
I remember, like, they were interviewing the players. They had their vacations booked. The guys lost money on vacations.
Wow.
They thought they were gone.
Yeah.
The wives were upset. It was funny. Like, one of the players came out and said, "Yeah, I'll admit it." It was like years after. He's like, I'll admit it. Yeah, we had our vacation. We had our vacations planned for like early to mid-January. We were ready to roll. We thought we were done,
And
and then
they
won
ended
the
up.
NFC Championship game.
Yep, and they should have went to the Super Bowl that year.
That's when they lost to the Cardinals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, guys, look, this has been a great episode of the PM and AM show.
Yeah, can we take it home? Some of us are hungry. Somebody's supposed to bring breakfast this morning.
Hey, listen, I got some meat. But anyway, Mike, what is what is the meal of the day? I asked Roy. He says he's going to go hoagie. Do you have a traditional or?
I don't know, man. I might just do nachos. Make some. I don't know.
Are you a wing guy?
I like the hoagie choice. Where do you guys go for your hoagie? You want the best hoagie?
I go to Primo's if you want the
Primo's
best.
is pretty good. Go ahead.
There's a spot in Norristown. I told Mike about it. It's called Eve's.
We should make a food run just and hit up and do a couple reels with that.
Hey, listen, you're giving me some good ideas. You're getting me all hungry. So there's a spot called Eve's in Norristown. It's called Zeps. So if you get one, these things are really delicious. I imagine, I would recommend going down and throwing one down on these bad boys. These are
burnt
really good.
ends. I guess he's talking about his meal. Burnt end. Did you ever have a burnt end cheesesteak?
No.
Oh, so good.
Really?
Oh my god. Yeah. Burnt ends are like just pieces of the meat. They cook. They kind of like cube it, for lack of better words, and then the ends, and they cut them up, and they grill them up or fry them up or whatever. Burnt end cheesesteak, man. I think they sell them at Bull's Barbecue in the Phillies Stadium.
Okay.
Now,
very good.
Is it different? Is a 4:00 game different from what would you have at a 1:00, or is it?
Yes. Yes, for me it is. I mean,
I think for 1:00 game, you definitely go more of the snacky food.
Snacky foods and probably more like lunch meat
sandwiches. Yeah,
you would do like a lunch meat type sandwich or hoagie, whatever. 4:00, 4:25 game.
It's a perfect dinner.
That's a perfect dinner time. Like, so if you want to get pizza, or you want to get, whatever, like any type of hot food, man, you're good to go.
And if you do a night game, you also do mint chocolate chip ice cream. So, you're right
Actually,
over there. You're giving me that. You're giving me that crazy eye again.
You laugh, but if it's a Sunday night game, I've eaten already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm a little weird with my snacks, but one of my favorite snacks, really, bowl of cereal.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm a cereal connoisseur.
Oh, you're a cereal guy.
I am a very much.
What's your number one overall?
Like Seinfeld, like crazy with my cereal.
It's a little strange behavior, but I like it.
I'll tell you what.
Coming from the guy who's sucking down mint chocolate chip.
There's nothing wrong with mint chocolate.
Yeah, what's your problem, you weirdo?
I love ice cream.
Who eats mint chocolate chip? What do you like?
The reason the cereal came on, and I'll tell you, this goes out to Mike Zafiri, my dad. He gave me the idea a little bit. So when my dad quit smoking, he put on a lot of weight years ago, and as usual, and his thing kind of killed the cravings at night was a bowl of ice cream. Now I was the only one. He hated mint. I loved mint. I was like that.
Yes.
My dad was a cookie dough guy. But my dad noticed he's putting on weight. So what he did was he's like,
Thank you, Mike.
He's like, I'm not gonna be able to kill the craving and do all this and fight smoke, not wanting to smoke. So he switched to cereal. And I was very young when he was doing this. So I'm having a bowl of cereal with my dad. And my mom was this is where it gets weird. My mom was very weird. Like, I could watch a rated R movie, she wouldn't care. I could eat tasty cake, she wouldn't care. But she was really weird about having like ice cream and dessert at night. Like, weird about that. Like, she was weird. So, but cereal was okay. And she would be weird about having like Frosted Flakes or Fruit Loops. We had Cheerios. This is the most sugary cereal I would have would have been Honey Nut Cheerios. For Christmas, she used to put in stockings. She would put like Lucky Charms.
Right.
Like that was it. So it became my thing. So now if I'm feeling it, I'll get Fruit Loops.
So Al got a soup bowl that he fills up with either.
So the quart containers from Chinese food, like the soup comes in, that's what I use.
So let me ask you, are you a Fruity Pebble guy?
Hell's yeah.
Thank you.
For my birthdays, my wife, she don't make me cakes. Especially because I'm a diabetic now, so I stay away from the cake. I get Fruity Pebble, like Rice Krispie treats.
Yes.
I get like Fruity Pebble ones, Fruit Loop ones, different things. She changes it up every so often.
Yeah, my kids wonder why they don't have their lunch ready by nighttime because their fat dad goes through.
Dad already ate their lunch.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the Chris Farley scene from, what was that?
Billy Madison?
Billy Madison. Who would eat 47 lunches?
There I am. Going through the cabinet.
Oh, man. Yeah, but I don't, like I said, man, my go-to, believe it or not, man, I take regular like yogurt, like the little yogurts that you buy,
Right.
and I'll stick them in the freezer
Okay.
to do frozen yogurt.
Yeah.
I do that. I'm also a cereal guy, like you, Al. But I don't do the sugary ones, man. Like I don't mind them, but like if I am going to go the sugary route, you got to go with the Cookie Crisp.
Ah,
Cookie Crisp.
very good one.
I like the other one too, the Reese's, the peanut butter balls.
There you go.
Yes.
I'm a honeycomb guy.
Fat guy moment.
Yeah.
So Oreos had the Oreo cereal. It looks like
Yes.
Fruit Loops. Terrible.
Yes.
Just terrible. So my mom would buy for our school snacks those cups that had the mini cookies in them and had the mini Oreos. That went in my bowl with milk, and I ate it like cereal.
Mhm.
Fat guy moment.
Yeah, you would talk about a fat guy moment. Every Monday night and Thursday night, Raw and SmackDown, me and Gus during the show would have Ilio pizza, ice cream. We would have that. Me, him, and
Ilio's.
Chuck.
Does your family hate you?
Yeah, well, yeah. So, well, have you noticed
No,
your
I'm sorry. I'm not going to knock Ilios like everybody else because Ilios is really
Yeah, you
good
can do it.
at 2
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning when you're drunk.
All right, here's the trick to Ilios, guys. Ready?
Mhm.
Nowadays, you can do it in an air fryer because
Yeah.
air fryers make it easy, and it comes out crispy without
Yeah.
having to wait 40 minutes for
Yes.
the stove to heat up. But when I was a kid, I couldn't wait. I didn't want to do it, and I hate people who microwave it because it was like a sloppy, soggy
Yeah.
mess.
Yes.
Frying pan with the lid on top. Works like a charm. Comes out
Now
nice
listen,
and crispy.
You true story. Friends sitting around Friday night doing. Back in the day, we used to do weekend tournaments. We had be at a buddy's house doing weekend tournaments. I literally watched my buddy. He microwaved the thing of Ilio's pizza,
Oh,
right? And he took he nibbled it, right? And he's like, dude, this stinks. We're sitting here playing, dude. He just takes it and smacks my other buddy in the face with it,
good one.
awesome.
right across. And he goes, "That's about as
Captain
good."
Crunch peanut butter cereal.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Captain Crunch is good. Crunch berries can't go wrong too.
Yes.
No, you can't. So
Do you guys remember? Do you remember? Was it Count Chocula, Boo Berry? Love that one.
All right,
What was the
I know
straw?
we gotta go. The last funny Al thing. It is that time of year, just like pumpkin spice year.
Yes.
My wife knows it's that cereal time of year for me because right now is when they put. You'll probably go to the supermarket right now. Sorry to spill everything. You go to the supermarket right now. They have like the displays on the end of this, and they have the blueberry, the Frankenberry.
And Count Chocula.
They have a new one now. It's like a werewolf looking thing. It's like
Really?
It's like a berry thing. It's like I don't know. I don't do it. It's a bastard of them. I don't talk about it. But my point is, my wife will go and buy 3 boxes, and they will be there for me because she knows.
And she tells the kids, this
And
is
now that
Dad's.
I'm lactose intolerant, I have to use it with the oat milk, so it goes a long way.
Okay.
Good job.
Well, listen, for everyone who's chimed into the show, I want to say thank you again. 5 years.
Hattie B's is on fire tonight. Howie Roseman's O's.
That's awesome. So, like I said, for everyone who's chimed in, again, this is 5 years of Devereaux Sports, now under the Edge of Philly umbrella. So, again, somewhat of a toast. I see you got your coffee.
Pat, do another 5 years.
To another 5 years. Again,
Oh, God, I have to do this for 5 more years? I thought our contract was up.
you might want to add something to that. So, again, I
I'm
just
trying
want
to be nice here, Al.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been with us from day one. And I just, like I said,
Hopefully, we didn't leave nobody out. If we did, we apologize.
yeah, definitely.
That's why I hate giving
Like I
thanks.
said, as much as I want to, again, and I got to give Gus his credit because he's been with me since day one. So, again, me.
So
and
why
him-
didn't you bring his? Why didn't you come, Gus?
Yeah, well,
You
Gus,
went to- you went to yell at Gus.
yeah, he's just way too cool. No, I'm kidding. I know his brother's getting married in Peru, and I know he'll be heading out there soon.
I was heading for that's cool.
So, but yeah, like I said, I just definitely want to say thank you to everybody who's chimed in. And plus, this is Eagles Day. Go Birds! And guys,
the Eagles pregame show will be coming on in about 25 minutes.
oh, there you go. So, guys,
So, for Pat Bernard, my co-host Pat Bernard, our producer extraordinaire Al Safiri, I'm Mike Lower, the other co-host of this show. Y'all have a good one.